What do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Hey, money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Oh! Oh! My God!
We are mediocre. And all mediocre people can do is
Yes, Shama Iqbal.
get drunk and
S.H.
forget.
Hey, bro. Come on. Let's get drunk.
I get drunk. Real drunk. I want to get drunk.
I mean, sure, when you get drunk, you're lawful disgusting. You smell, too.
Drunk and stay drunk.
Let's get drunk and pass out.
Did you get drunk, dance in your underwear, and sing sea shanties?
I got a hell of a good idea. Let's get drunk.
All we want is to pass out and get drunk. A little peace.
So, we get drunk, and we're left like hell, and then we die. And the pipe dream vanish.
They deserve to unwind and get drunk.
We have to get drunk immediately.
You gonna get drunk tonight, Daddy?
Damn.
Well, I say we get drunk because I'm all out of ideas.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Awesome. Here we go. How are we doing? Legal devices, you know none of that why you're here. Surprise! It's an impromptu chill stream. I guess we can remove Judge Manning here for the time being. While we just do a little bit of chat. Hey, Nicholas, what's up? Well, I'm supposed to be in Japan right now, but as many of you who were watching Danny on stream earlier, no, they decided that I didn't want to go to Japan. There was a storm. I don't think it was that bad when I was supposed to leave, but they canceled one of the flights last night. So, didn't get your audio. What's wrong with my audio? My mic should be on. I can hear myself just perfectly. Hang on. I sound like a hollow robot. Well, let me run a few tests here. Setting. Let me see what's going on. Aha! That camera should not be active.
Boom! That's the one we should be. What we should be, and that should sound much better. All right, there we go. There. All right. Yeah, that should sound better. No, I was on this camera, but the mic was somehow going through the dog cam mic, which is like way behind me on the floor. So yeah. All right, let's solve that problem. Yeah. So this camera, no mic. Mic, no camera. That is camera and no mic. Yeah, sorry about the trip, says Fondian. Me too. Because I was really looking forward to going hanging out with Meme Copium. Because I wanted to get away from here for a while. But this is like, there's one more 3-day weekend at the end of the month for Buddha's birthday. I'm going to try to get over there on that weekend. If I can't get there on that weekend for whatever reason, there are no more 3-day weekends in Korea until October. So that's going to suck. No long weekends until October. It's a crappy holiday year. All right. Well, so that's why I'm here. I literally had nothing planned because I'm not supposed to be here. Told all my friends I wasn't going to be here, so they're all off doing things with each other and, whatnot. And I'm just kind of going, so I was just sitting around, and about, 20 minutes ago, I was chatting with Flux. I'm like, should I do a Manning stream? And she's like, yeah. So I'm all right. So that's why I'm here. That's the long and short of it. Nothing too exciting. But that's it. That's me. That's why I'm here. So I'm glad you're all here to join me. We got 123 of you on the spur of the moment. That's like really, really good. Nicholas Starov identified the issue. Jeff is sober. Hopefully not much longer. This isn't an official drunken boozathon drink stream, but hey, you know, sometimes it can happen. We'll just have to see how this plays out. And starting us off with the super chats way back at the top was the woman who is responsible for all of this, Flux Pretrial. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be watching some preliminary hearings. They're called Orca preliminary hearings. And the best I can tell, and this is like no joke, they're expediting the backlog of COVID-19 related cases that are apparently just all over the United States are just backed up. All the criminal cases are really backed up. So they've launched Project Orca, where I think they give like $200 million to sort of speed things up to get resources and things so that they can move things along faster. Why is it called Project Orca? The best I can find is because they're saying that there's a whale of a backlog, like literally. So it's like an orca whale. So that's why it's called Project Orca, as far as anybody can tell. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be watching her yesterday preliminary hearings. They were pretty wild. I skimmed through some of it. Yeah, she gets a little bit testy, and people are trying her patience. Because fat dudes like me are in there, says JKD Buck. All right. Let's see. We got everything set up. We threw together a lame poll. What's our lame like and subscribe poll? Impromptu Judge Manning chill stream. I liked and subscribed because Judge Manning rocks. Now stay out of Fulton County. Fulton Country, it says. Whatever. You know what I mean. Fulton County. I don't know. Stay out of Fulton Country. That sounds even better. Let's pre-trial and delightfully unexpected. Choose whichever one of those suits you best. Yeah. Really got nothing else to say. Just nothing going on. Just bored. Thought I'd spend a Friday night with you guys because everybody else is gone and doing things, and I wasn't invited because I'm supposed to be in another country. But oh well. Just checking around here. Things. Oh yeah. By the way, guys, again, those of you that subscribed during, if any of you are amongst the people that subscribed during my stream with Nick, got about 80 survivors. Got about 80 survivors out of that stream. Got about 80 subscribers out of that stream, which was almost exactly the same number that I've lost over the past month and 2 weeks. So I guess 6 weeks. I was at 826, and then they started screwing with me and knocked me down to about 36,000. Well, 35,900 and right around 50, 56. But we got all those back, and currently we are holding strong at 36,012. I won't say we're holding strong. We're holding. We're holding at 36,012 subscribers. So I hope this is the beginning. We just lost one. That's funny. I hope this is the beginning of staying above 36 and moving on towards 37, because this past 6 weeks has sucked. All right, enough of the whining out of the way. It's just YouTube, and that's what they do. So, without further ado, shall we jump into some Judge Manning pre-trial and see what happens? I love Judge Manning. For some reason, somehow there's some people out there that have the view that I don't like Judge Manning. How you could ever have that opinion is utterly beyond me. Judge Manning is the best. All right, here we go. Let me bring it on up. Oh, my Lord in heaven, Bella Stella. Sweet baby Jesus. What in the, wow. Holy crap. All right. I'm sorry, I just got stunned there. Wow. Again, it takes a lot to make me speechless, but hey, pulling in the dirhams. That's about $136. All right, I guess I got to wrangle up the dogs. Hang on here. Let me All right, puppers, wake up, everybody. Hey, Yoda's just down for the count. Strawberries under the desk. Go dance for your money, dog. All right, here we go. Boom. And all righty, let's embiggen this. Whoa. There we go. That's what we wanted to do. Right. So we have the I forgot. I'm sorry. I was so stunned, speechless. I forgot to read the damn super chat. Wow. Whew. Bella Stella says, "Hey Jeff, it's my birthday. Hey, have a drink on me." Pooh. Well, seems how you put it that way. This is Larceny Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 92 proof. So that's like what, 46% alcohol. It's made by Heaven Hill Distillery. It's kind of a upper lower tier whiskey. So it's not bad. It's a great daily sipper. My nose is kind of plugged up because it's really humid and it's been windy and raining, but you can still just smell that caramel. There's lots of caramel and vanilla on that. Maybe some citrus. A little bit of a more of like an orangey citrus than like a lemony citrus. So to that, I say happy birthday, Bella Stella. Great to have you in chat. You are an absolute amazing person. You made it one more time around the planet. Let's keep it going. Happy birthday to you, and enjoy your legal vices to the fullest extent on your birthday. See you next year for another birthday celebration. Oh yeah, that was more than 1 ounce. Ooh, that burns. That was about a double. I've never poured a shot into this is a cocktail glass. I've never poured a shot in there, and I very much overestimated that one. Ooh. All right. Happy birthday, Bella Stella. Ooh, that's warm. It's warming this day. Thoughts on the new railroad installed in DC, aka J6 verdicts? Are you surprised? Are you really surprised? If you're surprised, you are very naive. Heads had to roll. You gotta fit the narrative. Heads have to roll, so heads rolled. That's all I'm gonna say because I like my channel. And with that, we have the problem. Strawberry's over here in her bed. Yoda is over here passed out on the floor. So we have to decide, do we want to watch Strawberry or do we want to watch Yoda? Which child do you love most, chat? Put one for Strawberry over here that's already on cam, or 2 for Yoda sleeping on the floor. 1 for Strawberry, 2 for Yoda. And then I'll let you guys decide who gets cam time. We'll alternate back and forth, but it looks like a split right down the middle so far. Give you like a little quick 10-second stream here. 69, 666, 420. Those are all not answers. We need 2 dog cams. 1 is enough. Well, you guys are split right down the middle. So we'll give we'll switch. If I can remember, we'll switch every 15 or 20 minutes, as long as it goes. I love dogs named after food. Yoda's not a food, but Strawberry is. Yeah, 1.5. Great. All right. Well, we'll keep it here on Strawberry for a bit, and then we'll switch it over to Yoda. That's the best we can do. And with that, we've got a long thing, so let's go.
Is that another prosecutor or with Judge McCauley? I mean, I'm sorry, with Mr. McCauley?
Yes, Shama Iqbal. SHAMMA IQBAL.
IQ. Okay, I thought you said Shamer
I
Lickball. That
apologize.
was weird.
I'm sorry.
Shamer Lickball is not a good name.
Yes, ma'am. It's Shama, SHAMMA. And the last name is Iqbal, IQBAL.
You have to have a U after it.
Yes, thank you.
You should have said common spelling.
Common spelling.
Common spelling of Iqbal.
Make sure she's on our game.
Right. So we'll bring out Cedric Jones first. Come on up, officer. I know you're sleeping.
Let's go, Cedric.
Oh, 15 minutes.
Goes off after we get started.
Shama Itchy Balls? No, don't IQ ball. People, this is somebody's name. Stop making fun of their name. How would you like it if someone made fun of your name? But Pastor Flash, I did hear lick ball the first thing too myself. So, you know. Wait, we're not going to wait 15 minutes for this person, are we?
It's fine. You know him.
Legal Vices, who is Judge Manning? Judge Manning is a criminal court judge in Fulton County, Georgia. She was military before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was a thing. They asked. She told the truth as opposed to lying, and they told her that she was not what they were looking for, and she was discharged for whatever they discharge people. Maybe Flux can help us out. What did they discharge? Was it conduct unbecoming, or what was it? But anyway, it was like basically we don't like your kind here in the military. So they booted her out of the military. She became a police officer for 20 years, I believe. Then she went to law school and graduated from law school in 2006. And now she's a judge in Fulton County. All right, well. Oh, look at the security guy just mugging for the camera. Oh, hello. KMG Law.
We can waive all the prelims and just go home, right?
I got wait for this one.
Not the word it was.
All right, let's fast forward till somebody happened. All right, we got lawyers. Bring in the. Oh, what the hell? Looked like that guy was naked. What the hell was that? What the shit is that? Oh, my Lord in heaven. Ladies, do not wear stuff like that. That looks like a butt naked woman right there. That looks like a butt naked woman. Ladies, do not wear flesh colored one piece outfits. Holy crap. That freaked me out there a little bit. God dang, ladies. Now I am fashion void. I literally have no fashion sense whatsoever. None. But I know you don't wear like a flesh colored unitard thing to court. Holy crap. All right. That just kind of freaked me out. I'm like, why is there a naked dude running around the courtroom? Just turns out it's a big girl in a flesh colored, apparently unitardy looking thing. Damn. All right. That took me by surprise a little bit. Yeah, even if you're attractive, not to court. Jesus. Don't do that. Do not wear that to court. Oh, my Lord, she's pregnant too. Good Lord. All right, this stream is already worth it.
I'll check.
Indigo Luna, I'm black and I never wear brown or tan. Lol, I would look naked. Right, just like Pregger chick there over there. She definitely looks like a big old naked pregnant.
I just need to pull up the case.
Oh, we have screaming baby courtroom. All right.
He said, as of right now, this date.
Oh, wait.
Is there any
What do you got to say, Judge?
Subpoenaed.
Lawyer.
Those out while we're waiting to get the inmates up.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
Any since we're waiting on them to get the inmates up, is there any cases that like the officer wasn't subpoenaed or anything we can address while we're waiting?
Yes, Your Honor. And Mr. Beck is getting in contact. In position number 2, Your Honor.
David Hamilton. Yeah.
Yes, that case was reset to this date because of an ex parte order. As of right now, I spoke with Ms. Cora Jameson yesterday just to see if I needed to subpoena my officer, and she said, as of right now, the person has not been restored. So I believe she's.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I'm just
So
doing a
that one
mic
need to
check
be
here.
reset
How do
out
I
front,
sound? Are we
right?
all balanced out? We can hear me over the court just a little bit.
And that's the only one that does not appear to be going forward.
Officer, just give me what case you here for? David Hamilton.
Okay, I guess that's true.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're just gonna find out how long she wants it set back out for. Okay. Ms. Watts,
Yes, Judge.
we're gonna reset position 2, but we're trying to get word from Ms. Correa, how far out it needs to be reset.
Okay, I can go ahead and give you a date. We're scheduling for those particular cases for July 13th.
I don't know if that'll be long enough.
Oh,
So
hey.
we're trying to get a date because there's an ex
So,
parte
well,
they're
y'all want to
waiting
hear what
on.
I just said? She said, "Yeah, it gets dark," and I said, "Yeah, it does get dark." I've skimmed through most of this. There's a little bit of CP there, a little bit of cheese pizza.
So you can ask if she needs till July, if she needs a sooner date, we can reset it. We'll hold off on that date, though, Ms. Watts.
There's some
Trying to bring up Cedric Jones.
people that get on her
Waiting
last
on it.
nerve. There's a lawyer that gets in trouble, like a lot of trouble for sassing her and talking back to her and being incredibly disrespectful to her. This is a pretty wild stream.
What about the officer in position 5, Freddie Huff?
Your Honor, I spoke with the detective Edwards or investigator Edwards. She's on her way, Your Honor.
And I
Okay,
lost every time she calls
what
David
about,
Hamilton, I get nervous.
the Travis Johnson, position 7?
Your Honor, I believe the officer is here.
Officer's here, she's in the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I'm
good.
going to go talk to her right now, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So while we're waiting on the officer for Freddie Huff.
Ooh, waiting on the officer. Officer should be there.
And I think I spoke to her this
Valhalla Wait says I need to turn my volume down just a
she's
tad.
where she's on the way, Your Honor.
Well, rather
Okay.
all right. God dang it, Valhalla. Why you got to be that way? There, is that better? All right, I've pulled my microphone down a little bit. We'll have to see how it sounds. All right, let's get some. Oh, hey there, Karima. Karima Goodman. She's the court reporter, I believe. She's got yarn in her hair. Like if you get bored, you can just like macrame the court clerk's hair. Make like a planter. Oh, sorry. She left. She got offended. Sorry, Karima. Turn the court
Actually
volume
cheers the
down a little
courtroom
bit.
up to
Okay,
have a small.
That's better.
A baby in here.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm illiterate. I can definitely turn the court volume down. I don't like to turn myself down because, frankly, I like to hear myself talk.
Right. She's very happy.
No, that's an Indian woman's hair dyed to look like yarn. No, don't say that. That's even worse than what I said. Security guys checking out fingernails. What you doing, Yoda? Yoda, we need to cut Yoda's toenails.
And said, let's say August.
Okay.
Is that gonna be at 9 a.m. or I know we don't know yet.
Come on, where's the alleged bad guys? All right, we'll do the old fashioned way. Oh, we got some more people there. Oh, there's a bad guy, allegedly.
Yeah, we'll put it in there. Let's see. Ms. Fisher, could you put in there that the inmate wasn't brought over on Cedric Jones, but the officer was here?
Yes, Judge, I will.
Thank you. Yeah, just make sure so we'll know.
Thank you.
All right.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be listening, but I'm cutting some tobacco here for my
Come on
pipe.
up.
But I didn't bring my pipe in here, so I got to go get my pipe. Crap.
Here's mine. Okay.
Meanwhile, Yoda's having a stroke or something over here.
So raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can have a seat. Speak into the microphone, state your name, spell it for the court reporter, till we get the inmate out here.
Officer Shatima Amos, first name Shatima, Shateema. Last name
Shatima.
Amos, Amos.
Shatima and
Madam
lick
Court Reporter,
balls.
can you hear?
Shitma and lick balls
Judge,
important.
thank you.
Okay, just making sure. All right, when they get him up here, we'll start.
And Judge, just for a clarification, would the court prefer me here or at the?
Whichever one makes you more comfortable. I'm not that picky. Come on in, officer.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm not that wrapped up in the black robe. I'm just a regular white woman in a black robe. That's it.
Judge.
And when I leave, guess what? I'm just a white woman. All right, we got him here. All right, position 7. It's 2-2, CP 215006, Travis Johnson. 128 days without indictment, and no bond as of December the 29th, 2023. Counsel, you asking for waiving?
I'm sorry, Judge?
I mean, obviously they don't know. You asking for waiving of sounding, but I'm sure they're gonna know once we talk about it. Waiving of sounding of charges.
Yes, Judge, sorry.
Okay, I'm sure they'll actually know what it is once we start talking, so.
Oh, that's funny. When I was fast forwarding the video to see whether or not the alleged bad guys had arrived, I saw someone in an orange jumpsuit and assumed that was the bad guy. No, it's the I guess it's the defense lawyer doing bad guy cosplay. She's like, orange is the new black, baby.
I guess it really won't matter that much, but the officer's been previously sworn. Go ahead, and they've got the ADA's name. Do you need anybody else's name, Madam Court Reporter?
No, Judge, I'm good to go. Thank you.
Okay, all right, go ahead, counsel.
Good morning, Officer Amos.
Good morning.
Please state your position at your current position as a police officer.
My current position is with Griffin Police Department.
My current
And what do
position
you do
is
for the
sitting in
Griffin
a
Police
chair.
Department?
I'm a police officer.
A patrol, investigative patrol officer. And how long have you been doing that?
I've been there since March
March of
this year.
this year. Okay. And where were you working prior to that?
College Park Police Department.
And what was your job at
Patrol.
patrol?
Mm.
And are you post certified?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you post certified on December 17th, 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you involved in a case on December 17th, 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please tell the court where you were dispatched to.
I was dispatched to 3100 Gobby Road, apartment 2J.
Is that in Fulton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the nature of the call?
It was in reference to child molestation.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
when you
That
arrived
went
on
off the rails
scene,
quick.
who did you speak to?
When I arrived on scene, I spoke with the victim's mother, Miss Williams. Shortly after the victim came out, Kendall, so I spoke to the both of them.
And so what's the mother of the victim, what's her first name? Do you remember?
Kamisha.
Okay. And when you spoke with Miss Kamisha Williams, what did she advise you?
She told me that she had looked through Kendall's phone and she found a recording that was recorded like 2 days prior. And she said that it was Mr. Johnson and Kendall inside of the video.
Oh,
were you able to view the video?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you observe?
I observed, well, it was, you couldn't really see any faces. You can only hear voices. It was a man saying, "Oh, are you going to do me like that? Put your phone down." And then you can hear a young child, which Kendall said was her, screaming really loudly. And then you could hear faint moans and groans.
And how old is Kendall?
At the time, she was 9.
Oh, God.
And
oh, God.
Once you heard the video, what did you do next? Or once you saw the video, what did you do next?
Shot him in the head, I
asked Ms.
hope.
Williams if I could speak with Kendall. And so I went into the living room and I spoke with Kendall, Miss Williams, and Miss Barbara Cannon, which is Miss Williams' mom.
And what did you learn?
Kendall told me that in the video, it was her, it was Mr. Johnson. She also said that it wasn't the first time. I asked her how many times did she think it happened. She told me approximately 3 times. I asked her when did it start happening. She told me about 3 weeks prior to the day that I was dispatched there. She also told me that, Ms. Williams told me that it was not Mr. Johnson's first time of being accused of child molestation.
Why would you have
So I
this
had my
fucker around
sergeant
here? Sorry, I'm already
go ahead and do a
demonetizing myself 31
criminal
minutes
history
in.
search, and it did show that Mr. Williams was on probation for child molestation.
He's on probation for this, and you have him in your house
what was the
around your
relationship between
9-year-old
Mr.
daughter?
Johnson and Miss Kamisha
Okay,
Williams?
we're officially not having fun anymore right now.
is Miss Williams' mom's husband.
So is that Kendall's grandmother's husband?
Yes.
And you mentioned that Kendall told you that he had touched her at 3 different occasions at least. What did she describe as the touching?
She said that he touched her breast in her vagina area.
Did she mention anything about penetration of any sort?
She did not.
Okay. And did she tell you it was 3 separate times, or
she said about 3 separate times?
Okay. And each time did he touch her breast and vagina?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
Yeah, where do you go from there? Shit.
And do you know if any other minors lived at the house?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Williams has 2 other children that weren't there at the time. I did ask Miss Williams about their whereabouts. She said every day,
really
Monday through Friday,
Kendall
Kendall will be the first child to get home. So Kendall usually gets home
right in the base of the skull
around 2:30 in the afternoon. So between 2:30 in the afternoon until when Miss Cannon, which is Miss Williams' mom, until she gets home. And she gets home with the youngest child at about, I think she said about 5:30. So 2-3 hours, they're home alone together.
And she's home alone with Mr. Johnson at the time?
Every day.
Every day? Okay.
Flux says, take him right to the stake. Seriously, take him out, stake him, spread eagle on the ground, butt ass naked, pour honey over him in a big pile of fucking fire.
And did they, anyone mention anything about any change in behavior of Mr. Johnson?
Yes. So when I spoke to Ms. Williams, I asked her, what made her think that something was going on, or what made her look through the phone, looking for anything. And she did tell me that Mr. Johnson and Kendall's relationship, it started to be a little weird to her. She said that Mr. Johnson would start making demands of Kendall, like for Kendall to cook for him, or sometimes clean up his room and things like that. And she said that it wasn't normal.
And did Kendall mention how it started, how the touching started, or what prompted it?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
He's a fucking pervert.
And
That's
do you
how
see
that's what
Mr. Johnson in the courtroom here today?
Yes, everybody can remove their masks, please.
And you look around the courtroom. Can you please point him out and identify?
You can stand up.
This piece of shit right here.
Mr. Johnson sitting right there. He has
Shoot
on
him
a
while he's
white long sleeve undershirt and a blue shirt over it.
She's got a
Your Honor,
lot
let
of
the
gear
record
on that
reflect that
vest.
the
Holy crap.
witness has identified the defendant, Mr. Johnson.
Noted.
And after that, did you do anything else in this case?
No, ma'am. It was just turned over to CID.
Perfect. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Cross?
Is it okay if I move to the podium so I can see the
Absolutely,
witness?
sure, whichever.
Is it okay so I can move to the podium to be away from my dirtbag client?
Good morning.
Good morning.
The video
Now we know why
that
she
you
chose
testified
oral, so she
about, that was
camouflages
on
these benches
the
so nobody
alleged
knows
victim's
she's
phone?
there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the lighting like in the video?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The video was blurry. I wasn't able to identify any faces.
What's the lighting like? Okay, Martin Scorsese, lawyer.
Could you tell if it was taken indoors or outdoors?
No, it was blurry.
Could you tell if it was light or dark?
No, ma'am. It looked like the phone was maybe up against something.
Okay. And did you get any information about how that video was taken?
Kendall said that she took the video.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is entitled to.
And was
just
that
as
video,
aggressive and
is that
good of
video
a
now in evidence for this case?
representation as anybody else.
Yes, ma'am. Sergeant Dorsey
it was
with
rough.
College
It
Park
was rough.
Police Department, he has it on his Axon.
Okay. Is Sergeant Dorsey, did he respond to the scene as well?
Yes, so Sergeant Dorsey responded, but he had seen Mr. Travis Johnson traveling down Old National Parkway after he had left the apartment, and he arrested him.
Okay.
Get to the
Was that the same day?
Yes.
The lawyer's going to claim it was consensual.
When you
Nah.
responded initially to the home, were you by yourself or were any other law enforcement personnel with you?
She's asking the questions.
It was
about
another
whether things
officer
were done
there that responded with
procedurally
me. Officer
correct.
Stalling.
That's really all she can do.
Stalling?
Yes, ma'am.
Were proper procedures followed? If they are,
And when you responded to the home, were you wearing a body camera?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that activated and working and on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so all of the conversations you've told us about so far were captured on your body cam?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's been preserved for evidence?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the date of birth for the alleged victim?
I can check if it's on my report.
Go ahead.
Sometimes it's blocked out since she's a juvenile.
Jonathan
Yeah, I
Smith
don't
says that was
have her
my
date of
thought.
birth, ma'am.
That
It's
she can
blocked
say
out
the
since she
victim
was
wanted it
juvenile.
because it was filmed.
Okay, but you said she was 9 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a smart 9-year-old. It sounds like it's a smart 9-year-old that just at least made an audio recording of it. Sounds like a very smart 9-year-old girl.
Now, when you spoke with Kendall at the home that day, you did not speak with her alone. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Her mother and her grandmother were present?
Correct.
After you spoke with her that day, has Kendall been interviewed or questioned by any other members of law enforcement or by anyone else about this case?
I'm not sure, ma'am. I'm not employed with College Park anymore. I just know that it was turned over to CID. I don't know which detective has it.
Okay, so you don't know if she ever had a forensic interview?
Correct.
Am I correct that your investigation and interaction with this case ended the same day that it started?
Correct.
Okay.
Where's Steve? Probably working.
You stated, I believe on direct, that my client is the boyfriend of the grandmother, Miss Cannon?
Yes.
Jesus. Ladies. Come on. Really? If your boyfriend, and the fact that I even feel compelled to say this is utterly ridiculous. If your boyfriend has a history of doing this and is on probation for doing this, I'm going to shout here. So I should block the microphone. And he's on probation for this. Like he has been convicted of doing this to other children. Don't let him around your children or your grandchildren. Do you need to be told that? What the freak is wrong with people? Come on. Seriously. Ugh.
Do you know what the status of their relationship was at the time of this allegation?
Miss Cannon did tell me, she told me that they were married. And she did tell me that they were having some issues. And she also said that they have not been sexually active in quite some time, and she felt that it had something to do with the incident.
Oh, lock that stupid woman up right along with him. You don't go out and grape a youngster, a 9-year-old youngster, and then the grandmother, the boyfriend of this. Oh my fucking hell. The grandmother of this child says, well, it's probably because we weren't smashing. He can't have it with me, so he goes after the granddaughter. Lock this woman up too. Lock grandma up. Grandma, she has clearly demonstrated that she does not have the capacity to be out in public, functioning like a normal human being and protecting her child. She has clearly demonstrated that she no longer has the right to breathe my fresh air. And yeah, again, should be innocent until proven guilty, but that's just bad frickin' decision making there. It's not a crime. Do something with her. Child endangerment, willful child endangerment. I don't know. Charge this woman with something. Grandma is more than an enabler, Mr. Goldenrod. Grandmother is an apologist. Well, we weren't doing it, so that probably had something to do with him doing it with the granddaughter. Oh my Lord. So are y'all enjoying the Friday chill stream? Wow. Bella Stella on the wall. All of them. Yeah. Got no problem with that. Wolfram, I'm really torn on this one. 1, a long, slow, agonizing end with a lot of pain, or 2, a 45 caliber right between the eyes. Okay, assuming he's guilty, let's give him at least a reasonable benefit of the doubt. I vote number 1. That's me. I vote number 1. Grandma, come on.
Okay. And did Kendall state that these occurrences, I believe she said it was 3 times this had happened. Did she state that it always happened between those hours of 2:30 and 5:30 in the afternoon?
She said it always happened when they were home alone, and I was advised that those are the only times that they're home alone.
Mandy, we're just going to nutshell this here for you. The defendant here on the bottom left is accused of doing really, really, really bad things to the 9-year-old granddaughter of his girlfriend. Yeah, those bad things. Flux is correct. Flux says he's already been convicted. He was already convicted. We don't have to give him we have to give him from a legal. See, this is what I was saying. I have my opinions on whether I think people are guilty or innocent or whether he did it or not. But when it comes to a court hearing, you have to divorce yourself of that and give them the legal benefit of the doubt. Okay, I'll give him the legal benefit of the doubt. Fine. Guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. Fine, you got that. But in my head, no, he's done. He's done. And he's already been convicted of doing it once. At least once. I don't know how many times he's been convicted of it because he was on parole for doing it when this happened. So yeah, he is a CP. He is a PDF file. So yeah, we don't have to say allegedly. He's already been convicted of doing it to somebody else. This woman. God dang it.
Let me go back to the video for just a second. Were you able to see the date and time that video was recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that?
I'll take a look at my report.
Sure.
If that's okay. So it was 20 seconds long and recorded on Thursday, December 15th at 15:10.
12:15:22 at 15:10. So that would be 3:10 PM.
Yes.
Valerie Parker, yes, that is one of my dogs. That is
Okay.
Strawberry in the bottom right corner.
And
We do doggo cam here. Welcome. Clearly, you're
okay,
new
so
to
it
these
was
parts,
2 days
Valerie.
later that
We
the
do
mother
doggo
went through
cam.
Kendall's phone and found the video.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct? Okay. Did you ask Kendall, are you aware if she ever took any other videos of that nature?
It's Yoda's turn.
I don't recall if I asked her, but I know that that was the only one she had.
Okay.
At the time.
All right. We talked about a change in my client's behavior. Did Miss Williams or Miss Cannon state that they'd noticed any changes in Kendall's behavior?
Not that I recall, ma'am.
There says the real punishment for him is going to be inside prison without protection from an inside gang. It's not going to be great for him. A
Now,
lot
were
of places
you
now will
the
have
officer who
literally
actually took
separate
out the warrant in this
facilities
case?
for the CP
Yes,
people.
Okay, but you did not
I know
make the
Utah has
arrest.
a completely
Right.
separate sex offender containment facility. So they avoid that.
Was there
kind
any
of situation,
physical evidence collected in
unfortunately.
this case?
No, ma'am.
And do you know if my client was ever questioned or interviewed about this?
No, ma'am, I'm unsure.
Do you know the ages of the other children who reside in the home?
I do not know their exact ages. I just know that they're all under the age of 18.
Do you know if any of them were ever questioned or interviewed about these allegations?
No, ma'am, I don't know.
Shoot him in the damn head.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Anything else on direct?
And just, I'm sure I covered it, but just to go back and clarify, Miss Cannon and Miss Kamisha Williams were able to identify the sound, the voice in that recording, and did they identify it as Mr. Johnson?
Yes, all three of them, Kendall, Miss Cannon, and Miss Williams said that that was the voice of Mr. Johnson.
Nothing further, Your Honor, from the state.
Anything else?
Oof.
One moment.
Okay. A little bit lower. That's a live mic there, sir.
Yeah, they heard you. They heard you, defendant. And we can still hear you.
Officer, were you made aware during your investigation of whether or not Mr. Johnson was employed at the time?
Yes, Miss Cannon did say he worked on Old National. Can I check my report to see if I
Sure.
wrote it?
Objection, Your Honor, this is beyond the scope of the redirect.
It is. She just asked about the voice ID. It's this thing. It's okay, Allison.
all
Anything
right.
about the voice ID? Any question there?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. All right. Anything else for this officer?
Nothing from the
All
state, Your
right.
Honor.
Stay safe. I know you drove
Thank you.
up here and you worked late, so be careful getting home. All right, go ahead with the argument.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's going to ask, Your Honor, for 6 counts of child molestation, Your Honor. That's alleging for each one. You heard testimony from Officer Amos that the victim herself, the 9-year-old Miss Kendall Williams, advised that the touching started about 3 weeks ago prior to this date, which was on December 17th, and it was 3 separate occasions. I asked each time if it was separate breast and vagina. Officer advised that it was, that's what the victim confirmed, Your Honor. And so. we
Okay, that's
asked for-
interesting. That's interesting. She's being charged with, they said they did it 3 times. She's been charged with 6 different offenses, 2 each. They're not counting the upper and lower touching as a single act. She's charging them as separate incidents. The above touching is one charge. The below touching is another charge spread out over 3 events. So that's 6 charges he's pulling from these 3 interactions. So that's good.
For those 6 charges of child molestation, 3 for touching breasts on 3 separate occasions, and 3 for touching vagina on 3 separate occasions.
All right, go ahead.
Judge, as to the one warrant that we're here for today, and that's EW-0387621, that is 1 count of child molestation. We would submit on the evidence that Your Honor heard today on that 1 warrant. I don't think that the state has met the burden for probable cause for 6 warrants. What we heard today is testimony about 1 incident, a video from 1 specific date, and questioning of the alleged victim and witnesses, mostly about that specific date. There were allegations, and I did hear testimony that the alleged victim claimed that this began 3 weeks prior and had happened about 3 times, but we didn't hear any testimony about specifics of that, when it happened, where it happened, at what time it happened, on what date it happened, exactly what happened on those incidents. So again, I think that I'll concede that the state has met the burden in terms of probable cause for the 1 warrant that we are here for today. I don't think that they've met that burden for any additional warrants.
Your Honor, as you know, that evidence presented and can be and charges can be added by requested by the state and added by the court, regardless of what warrants are out there. Your Honor, you also heard that there were separate acts, and that's why we're asking for different charges, because not only did the victim tell Officer Amos that it was separate breast and vagina, that's 2 separate acts right there. She also mentioned it was on 3 different occasions, and therefore, Your Honor, we do believe that we've met the burden of preliminary hearing, yes, probable cause, Your Honor. Thank you. And there's enough sufficient evidence. The victim was very clear. She told them who it was. She mentioned what times that she was alone with him, and that exactly that recording, Your Honor, as well corroborates that, because it's at the exact same time at when she was alone at home with the defendant. Given that, Your Honor, and his fact that he's on probation for child molestation, Your Honor, I think that's sufficient enough.
All right. I'll go ahead and find probable cause on all 6 counts, because she did say it happened there when he would come home, or she would be the first one there. That he's on no bond as of December 29th. I don't know, has he taken care of, there's an outstanding probation warrant in Esmond Adams? Has that already been?
Yes, Judge, that has been taken care of.
Brandon, what's it?
Revoked. I believe it's the balance, or at least 2-3 years, I believe, from what I looked at.
So it has been, okay, because it was.
That's correct, Judge. The balance was revoked. It was 3 years and some change.
Oh, okay, because it was still outstanding as a warrant. All right, so go ahead, let's see. Go ahead, Miss Jackson.
Judge, sorry to interrupt. Well, if you could give me 1 moment, I don't think we're going to need to have a bond hearing.
She's apologizing to interrupting her so she can get her pre-trial out of the way. Like, Judge Manning interrupts her with a pre-trial, and the lawyer apologizes. I like that. That was good.
Go ahead, Miss Jackson.
Judge, sorry to interrupt. Well, if you could give me 1 moment, I don't think we're going to need to have a bond hearing because of the.
Well, we kind of do, because he's been in 128 days without bond, so he has to have a bond.
So he's been there for
no matter amount. So
no matter
4 months,
how high or low it is, he can't sit there with no bond. Go ahead, Miss Jackson.
The defendant has 16 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was October the 8th, 2000.
16 arrests? Women, you can do better than this. You can do better than this, women. If your only option is to be with a guy that has been through the criminal justice system 16 times, with at least one of them being for doing really horrific things to children. Go to a convent, become a Buddhist nun, do something, but don't get involved with that guy. Come on, people.
8/2021. I apologize, Your Honor. And that was in Fulton County for a probation violation. Those underlying charges are associated with the CWAC, and he's currently on probation for that. The case number is 18 SC 160053. That disposition date was February the 5th, 2019, and the term is for 8 years. The defendant does have prior felony convictions. One in 2004 out of Mitchell County, Georgia, for possession of controlled substance, and one in 2003 out of Mitchell County, Georgia, for possession of controlled substance. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Now, she said the most recent crime, which for 8 years for, was a CWAC. That is crimes against women and children. Yeah, so.
Is that state court case still open? 21 CR 000890 G as in George? I think it's signed to Judge Mather.
May I have that number again, please, Your Honor?
21 CR 000890 G
Not
as in
sure
George.
how far.
Okay, I will
Fulton
look
County
that up for you, Your Honor.
extends.
Just a
Let's
moment,
find
please.
out.
All right, go ahead on bond argument.
All right, let's see what his bond is
About
going
the
to
time
be.
you took a drink of water, right? Sorry about that.
Sorry, Judge. Your Honor is correct. He has been in custody for over 90 days without indictment in this case, so he is entitled to a bond. I've spoken with Mr. Johnson. He understands that regardless of whether he posts bond on this case, he's not going anywhere because he is
Yes,
being
it
held
covers
on the
Atlanta.
probation revocation. I was in touch, actually received an email back today from Christian Adkins, who is the ADA who handled the revocation, and who I believe will be handling indictment and resolution of this case as well. He's working towards indictment. So the hope here is that we can get this case indicted and get it resolved with some concurrent time with the violation. So, we'd ask the court to set a reasonable bond today, but Mr. Johnson does not plan on posting bond at this time.
Good.
Because of the violation,
Good, fucker.
the revocation, excuse me.
Anything? Go ahead.
Yes, Judge. State is going to ask for $50,000 on each charge, Your Honor. This defendant, he is a danger to society, especially danger to children.
Yeah.
And that's evidenced through the testimony that you heard, and also his past criminal history, him being on probation for child molestation at the time that this incident took place. Your Honor, he, I believe, would be a significant risk to commit another felony. Child molestation, Your Honor. I do believe that he could also intimidate witnesses given the nature of the relationship between the defendant and the victim's grandmother. And so, Your Honor, we would just ask for no contact and $50,000 on each one.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew.
Well,
Court,
times
lawyer,
6.
medical, and employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you're gonna be working. Do you have an address where he's gonna be living?
One moment, Judge.
That's 50,000 for each count. So there's 6
Your Honor,
counts.
I
That'd be
apologize.
300,000.
Let me read that case number back out to you. Is that 21 CR?
Wow, 50,000 per charge.
0,
That's
0,
250 shots of
890.
whiskey on Effort Friday for me. Wow.
Yes.
That's not coming up for some reason. Let me try it another way then. Just a
Hold on.
moment.
Go ahead,
Judge,
Mhm.
if he were able to make bond, he would be residing with his cousin,
Yeah,
Kanata, in Ellenwood, Georgia.
He's not
Does
getting
know
out
the
anyway.
exact
He can't
address.
come up with the
But if we're
300,000.
being candid and realistic with the court, he's going to continue residing at Rice Street.
Okay, all right. So it's 21 CR 000890. You gotta put G as in George at the end. It's a state court, since it's a state court case. It's still open? Okay. Let's see, okay, so stay away from 3100 Godby Road in College Park. No further contact with anyone under the age of 17. Let's see, ankle monitor. No further contact with Kendall Williams, Kemeshia, Kemshia Williams, or Barbara Cannon, Cannon. Everything. The 100,000 on each count. Best of luck to you, sir.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
Judge
missed
Manning. Judge Manning coming in hard. The prosecution asked for 50,000 per charge. Judge Manning threw down 100,000. She threw down 100K per charge. Nice. We like to hear that. That's good. That's good. So Judge Manning doubled. She doubled the what the prosecution was asking for. Now, hey, let's clear a few of these things here. Jim Satala says that's a song from Outkast. I'm sorry, Ms. Jackson. Oh, I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. I'm sorry, Mrs. Jackson. Oh, I'm for real. Okay. Oh my goodness, he's getting house arrest. No. The ankle monitor. That is if he posts the now $600,000 bond to get out, then he has to be on house arrest. So he's not getting out, first of all, because him being charged with doing this again is a violation of his parole for the previous time he did this. So he's not getting a bond for that. All right. Strawberry, you cleaning Yoda's face? All right, whatever. Flux, $2. Thank you so much. When I say steak, I mean burning them at the stake. Now there's I can't remember where it was. Was it Morocco or someplace? But there was some place in like North Africa, Middle East area, somewhere around there where they would take the grapists and people like that, and they would literally like have a gigantic steak about yay big, sharpened to a point, and they would insert it, the very point of that pole, into the rectum, and then stand it up, and that would be a slow death as they just slid down that pole. And kind of like that idea for this. Just saying. Being a defense lawyer is hard, says Flux. The man has a right, and I can appreciate she's just trying to do her job. And you'll notice, I mean, she wasn't trying to say he's innocent, or she was ticking off the boxes. You know, what was it night? Was it day? Was it blurry? Were there any tests done? She just ticked off the boxes and got out. And she even admitted they have enough to keep him there on at least one of the charges. Yeah, that's what I mean. When you know your guy is a piece of shit, the best you can do is make sure his rights are preserved and protected. Ugh. Yeah. And it's a thing. I mean, it's hard for defense lawyers a lot of times, but you have to detach yourself from the situation. Exactly. That's how the real Count Dracula would. That's why he was Vlad the Impaler, because he would sort of impale people like that. Oh, I've had to defend. When I was doing my third year practice in law school and whatnot, I had to defend some scummy people, but never pieces of shit like this. But I mean, you do have to divorce yourself from the client and just think of it as you're doing your job to protect the rights of the guilty and the innocent. Oh, I agree. Vlad the Impaler had the right idea. All right, let's wrap this up, and then we'll see. Get something a little less icky, I hope.
Number, Judge.
100,000 per count.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Did you see the prosecutor's like, wait. Check out the prosecutor's expression here. She's like, yeah, based.
I'm sorry, I missed the number, Judge.
100,000 per count. Best of luck to you, sir.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Anybody else work overnight? Nelson, you worked overnight? Just kidding. Just kidding. You need to talk to her, you said?
What was that?
Oh, okay.
What was that sumo stomp she did right there?
You need to talk. All right, let's see. Anybody?
The stretch pants are riding a little high there. She's got to she's got to do the sumo leg stretch to bring the pants out of her
Yes, work
nether
overnight.
regions, I guess.
Now, so you worked overnight? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You need to talk to her, you
Unless
said?
she's stepping over something.
Oh, okay. Which case you want to take next?
That will be Alonzo Phillips.
Okay, Phillips.
Yep, that's the panty
Alfonso
wedge
Phillips.
walk. Pants in prison.
Y'all just kind of passed Sampson's around from person to person, didn't you?
Yes, Your Honor, but remember, I'm only here for
Oh,
the
yeah.
prelim. It is still Mr. Cazzoli's case.
Oh,
And he
okay.
did say that he submitted an entry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, can I have her name?
Yes, my name is Turquoise Kennebrew, and I'll spell that for you. It's TERKQUYOSE. Last name Kennebrew, KENNE, B as in boy, REW.
Oh, the interesting question here. Where'd it go? Why wasn't the mom charged? Asks Ocean Away 007. Because unfortunately, making really stupid life choices is not a crime. It's not a crime to have someone who served time being around your young granddaughters. It's not a crime. It's really bad judgment and it's stupid. And I personally would like to see the child removed from that situation, unless the mother was completely legitimately had no idea. But never, the grandmother never needs to see that child ever again, ever. But yep, being stupid is unfortunately not a crime. Turquoise. You're all hearing turquoise. Oh dear.
Can I have her name?
Yes, my name is Turquoise Kennebrew, and I'll spell that for you. It's TERKQUYOSE. Last name Kennebrew, KENNE, B as in boy, REW.
Turquoise.
Thank you.
All right, officer, raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Her name is
All
not
right, you can have a
Turquoise.
seat, sit down, state, spell your name for the court reporter till we get Mr.
Ooh.
Phillips out here.
He's a handsome
Okay, if I
officer.
take the podium,
Sure.
Your Honor?
My name is Investigator Shaw.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
JERMAINE, last name Shaw, SHAW. I'm currently employed by the City of Atlanta Police Department.
Okay. Stand by, we'll get him out here. All right, this is 22 CP 215010 Alfonso Phillips, 128 days without indictment. There's a $5,000 good bond as of May the 2nd. Burglary in the first degree. Go ahead, Mr. McCauley.
Investigator Shaw, where are you currently employed?
City of Atlanta Police Department.
Were you employed with them on December the 7th, 2022?
Yes.
And how did you become aware of Alfonso Phillips?
It was a burglary at a residence. The primary officer took the report and I'm the investigator. I did a follow-up investigation.
Did you read the primary officer's report?
That's correct.
Did you become aware of what occurred through his report?
That's correct.
What was that officer's name?
Officer N. Nancy Evans.
And what address did this occur at?
1153 St. Charles Place, Northeast.
And what county is that in?
Fulton County.
And through your investigation, what did you learn?
Through my investigation, I was able to learn who the suspect was. He was identified.
But she doesn't spell it that way. She spelled it really weird.
He was in a struggle with the victim of the home that he burglarized.
So can you please walk us through what occurred at the time?
The said suspect, Mr. Phillips, he entered the home of the victim. While in the home of the victim encountered Mr. Phillips. A struggle ensued, and Mr. Phillips was able to flee the location on foot before police arrived. Soon thereafter, the victim was able to provide footage from his home surveillance camera and from the neighbor surveillance camera, a clear picture of Mr. Phillips. And based off that picture, the officers that was on scene and officers that worked the area were able to identify Mr. Phillips through that picture, which led me to my investigation.
And what is the name of the victim?
Larry Pendergrass. Larry Pendergrass.
That's a white guy.
And
Larry Pendergrass is a white guy.
How did he gain entry into the home of Larry Pendergrass?
I give you the exact location. The victim left the mud room door unlocked.
And through your investigation, was you able to determine was Mr. Phillips a resident of the home?
Teddy's
No, he's
not
not a resident of the
Larry
home.
certainly
Did he
is.
own the home?
No,
Did he have permission at any time to enter the home?
no.
What kind of neighborhood was this home in?
A residential area.
And can you please discuss what you saw on the Ring camera?
It was a still photo. It was a still photo of the suspect with the victim apparently kind of holding him or had him held down or kind of like had his arms around him, but he was able to get away.
And was that still photo in color?
Yes.
Was you able to see facial features on the still photo?
Yes. I also added that photo to the case management for the affidavit on the warrant. That photo is also uploaded to case management.
And the officer that identified Mr. Phillips, what zone do he work in?
Does he
Works in zone 6. That's the area that home is also located in.
And how did he become aware of Mr. Phillips?
Those officers were able to come aware of Mr. Phillips from a bolo. There's a be on the lookout poster that I created through our emails, and I disseminated it through the email to notify all officers in the area to be on the lookout for said subject.
Did Mr. Pendergrass identify Mr. Phillips at any time during your investigation?
No, he did not. Well, no. Well, he provided information, and he provided a photo. So no, he did not actually see him after the arrest.
Were you able to identify Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
This is a 7LE
How did
straight
you,
Churchill.
identify Mr.
Straight pipe.
Phillips?
Through the 4K picture that was sent to me from the victim.
And after you had that picture, did you use any systems to determine the name and age of Mr. Phillips?
Yes, through his previous arrest record, through his previous encounters with prior officers and other officers in that assigned area.
Prior
able to
encounters
identify
with
him.
officers, not encounters with prior officers.
Was there a particular ID that was used?
Oh, yes. So once he's identified through the other officers, I was able to run his name through our internal system, which is called Ominence. Now, Ominence produced another photo, which is very similar to the photo that the victim provided. So that Ominence system gives the ID, it returns the ID photo of Mr. Phillips.
Do you see Mr. Phillips in a courtroom at this time?
Yes.
Can you please describe an article of clothing that he is wearing?
He has a long white sweater with a blue overall top.
May the court recognize he has positively identified the defendant?
Noted.
Were you post-certified during this investigation?
Yes.
Did Mr. Pendergrass suffer any injuries?
No.
Figure as long as we got demonetized from that first hearing, may as well enjoy a nice pipe.
Cross.
Good morning, officer. Can you restate your name? My apologies.
Shaw, SHAW.
Thank you. Okay, and so Mr. Shaw, Officer Shaw, what was the date of the alleged burglary?
December 7, 2022.
And do you recall the time?
I'm currently reviewing the report. The report advised 7:21 a.m.
And you did state on direct that you were not the responding officer to the incident location, was that correct?
That's correct.
And the name of the officer that was in charge of the initial investigation?
Officer N. Evans.
Will smoking get you demonetized?
Were there
It
any
can.
other officers that were a part of that investigation?
It is against the terms of service.
You have the officers that was
If it glorifies
in the
or
area,
encourages-
canvassing the area after the burglary occurred.
I'm showing children what
to,
not to do. Children don't
attempt
do
to
this at home.
locate Mr. Phillips, the suspect.
And so you stated on direct that you did not receive a ring video, but you did receive a still photo, is that correct?
That's correct.
And it was from a neighbor's home?
Oh, they
That's
don't care
correct.
about grammar in Utah either.
What was the name of the neighbor that provided the photograph?
I wasn't able to speak to that neighbor. The neighbor provided Mr. Pendergrass, the photo from the incident.
Same thing. Yeah, smoking any product can now get you.
So did anyone, are you aware of any officers that made contact with that neighbor?
No, I'm not aware of that.
When were you provided the photo from the victim?
12/7/2022.
And the victim, Mr. Pendergrass, obtained
That
that
is
photo from the neighbor.
Corn
correct?
Pop is correct.
All right. And in the warrant, it stated that Mr. Phillips entered the incident location with the intent to commit a theft. What was the basis for that conclusion?
Drinking too.
He was attempting to steal what's believed was a bike, and he wasn't able to successfully steal the bike from the residents. That's a theft that he was attempting to commit.
Thank you, Corn Pop.
And where was that bike located inside of the residence?
In the mud room, it's a portion of the home that the owner called the mud room.
Jessica Reloaded in the house. Good morning, Jessica.
And how was
No, drinking can get you
Try that.
demonetized too for the video.
Was there any other video evidence of what allegedly took place inside of the residence?
No.
So how are you aware that Mr. Phillips was attempting to take a bike?
From the photo that the neighbor provided, the victim.
I know, right?
statement. Also, yeah, the
Don't be a
bike was also
stereotype,
recovered,
dude.
by the victim.
So inside of the photo that the victim provided, there was a bicycle?
No, it was the victim himself attempting to subdue Mr. Phillips.
Now, when Mr. Phillips was arrested, how was he identified as the suspect who entered the home?
I wasn't the arresting officer. However, the warrant information that I provided to secure the warrant, it was the photo, it was the independent investigation between the photo, the event that transpired, also with the help of the officers that worked the assigned area, was able to help assist identify Mr. Phillips.
I have
And
surprisingly
you stated that
few
the other officers were able
demonetized
to
screens.
identify Mr. Phillips. Was there like a photograph that was sent to them and then they noticed who he was by his features, or was he a common person in the area? How were they able to identify him?
a couple of factors. He's also known in the area. I also disseminated
I
Bolo,
see.
which is a created
I see.
picture that we use to
I
send out. We
want to
disseminate that
ride
throughout
my
this
bicycle.
department wide,
Great
and
song.
officers can help assist identify suspects that we're actively looking for. And during that dissemination, it was determined that Mr. Phillips was identified by the assigned officers in that location, which is Zone 6.
We did more important.
And was Mr. Phillips ever produced for a photo lineup?
No, he was not.
Who performed the arrest of Mr. Phillips?
The arresting officer. You want his name? I can review the report for the arresting officer name, the one who put the handcuffs on him, because I'm the investigator. I secured the arrest warrant.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I forgot to open the window in here. Hang tight again.
I'm still trying to download.
Okay, I
Yeah,
have
correct.
to
Yeah,
ask,
Mark 43.
can you all hear the wind whistling, or is it just me?
reporting? It's not listed on the Mark 43 system at this time.
Do you recall when and where the arrest was performed?
No, typically speaking, if Mark 43 would advise that location, the officer name, at this time, Mark 43 is not advising that information.
Mark 43, are you referring to your report?
Yeah, the internal reporting system that we use.
So are you aware if a search of his person was conducted?
Well, our policy advised it'd be incident search to arrest, so his person would be searched typically due to our policy.
Okay. And are you aware if anything notable was found on his person?
No, I do not know.
Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. I want to. Sorry, I've just got a song in my head. Go, I want to ride it where I like. Holy crap. It's like a hurricane in my room here.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, anything else?
Nothing else for this officer. I asked that he be released, Your Honor.
Anything else, argument? Thank you all. Stay
thank you.
safe. I didn't think all you guys that responded yesterday to keep our community safe. We appreciate that.
Pink Floyd, that's the I've got the bike. That song. That's
We have an argument?
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh, that's okay.
No, Your Honor, we submit to the testimony of the officer.
All right, probable cause. Looks like you had a $5,000 good bond as of May 2nd. Anything else you want to, do you want to?
which ironically
Anything
kind
else
of
you wanna
has
tell me?
lyrics.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Those bond conditions and their bond will still remain in place.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was talking over Judge Manning. Shoot me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh, that's okay.
No, Your Honor, we submit to the testimony of the officer.
All right, probable cause. Looks like you had a $5,000 good bond as of May 2nd.
All right.
Anything else you want to?
$5,000 bond in
Anything
place.
else you want to tell me? All right, best of luck to you, sir. Those bond conditions and their bond will still remain in place.
Okay. Jessica says high wind advisory. Ha ha ha. Legal vices. I thought you were in South Korea, not Cali. Oh, South Korea's in the. We're on a peninsula. We have monsoon season where it's windy and rainy. Then we have hurricane season. It was typhoon season over here. And it is the fact that it's this windy is the reason I'm not in Japan right now. The planes couldn't take off. So the surfing sucks in Busan. You might get a 1 meter wave, but there's still a lot of people that surf. All right. Yeah, the wind is driving me crazy. Let's start this and I'll be right back for the third time.
Ms. Iqbal, does your detective need to go next?
Mine,
I think she just stepped out. Wasn't she here?
yes, she was. I don't think she was working all night though.
Oh, okay.
I don't want, if any officers.
Anybody else
were.
working late? Got to work shortly?
Okay. You know what, Your Honor? I want to keep Union City for the last case, Your Honor. 'Cause I think, the one for Union City, we're gonna keep that one for the last case, Your Honor. That's
Why, did he
position
make you
number
mad?
4.
Did he make you mad?
Not at all, Your Honor. I just think that one's gonna take a little bit longer, and I think we'll be able to get to the other ones a little bit quicker.
All right, what about on the Jeremy Ingram?
The Jeremy Ingram, that's.
I think she may have stepped. Did that detective step outside?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready, Your Honor.
Okay. Jeremy Ingram, come on up. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Have a good one.
Jeremy Ingram's next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeremy Ingram.
What's the what?
What was the announcement?
Oh, he
I'm
just wanted
sorry.
to go last.
I wouldn't mind taking that one last. I think that one is gonna take a little bit longer, if that's okay with you, Ms. Beck. Okay. Yes.
Yes. Do we have the public defender here for position 3? Says Tyrone Walls. Is a private, isn't he?
Oh, Your Honor, this is the problem that you had before. This is the second time it's been said.
Wait a minute. Is this the guy who's in,
Yes.
Ms. Watts, is this the guy with the office like in Augusta and says he can or can't be here?
I believe so, Judge.
Oh, is this the first guy she yells at? Jim Satala has asked the question, what's the difference between a peninsula and a cape? Well, a peninsula is just usually a large landmass that's connected to the mainland by a smaller strip of land, and a cape is just sort of a narrow, thin piece of land that sticks out from the mainland. So like a cape is a smaller peninsula attached to the mainland, I guess. There you go.
Your Honor, for this state, I would like to go ahead and say this is, I believe, the second or third time that the officer was here, did.
No, oh, I get it. And what was his excuse for not coming today? Because last time he didn't have the correct email address, and we said, well, you're the one that does your email. His email was not on the State Bar website.
Okay, this is the lawyer she gets angry at a little bit later because the guy has not shown up 2 or 3 other times. His email is not the email that's registered with the Bar Association. Judge Manning's fixing to be unhappy. Mandy, thank you so much for the super chat. How to cure song stuck in head, Pink Panther theme. Nice. That's a good one. Henry Mancini, he wrote some good music. You can have the Pink Panther stuck in your head. Did-do, did-do, did-do. All right, let's go.
You know what, Your Honor?
The woman with the child.
Yeah, keep
Take a little, oh, well, yeah, go ahead, Ms. Watts.
He was also the one that selected this particular
It's
date.
Sideshow Bob.
He was what? I'm sorry.
He chose this date.
Oh, so
So I want to reach out to him right now.
the public defender that's not there chose the date of this hearing.
Do you have his right contact information this time? I don't know if he's ever put it in the State Bar.
He gave me his email. He did reply back to it, so it was the correct email that he provided me with.
Let's see if he put his stuff in the State Bar.
Your Honor, respectfully, I understand. We can keep it going and go for the next one.
We will, but hold on one second, because if he didn't have his stuff in the State Bar like I told him to, which he said it already was, and it is not, then I'm reporting him to the State Bar.
200-watt studio. Who's the hottie sitting in the back of the room? It's me? I don't know. What are we talking about?
He hasn't updated the state bar, and that's one of the rules.
Yeah, this lawyer's a piece of work.
Do you mind?
And because it says
stepping down for
anime
just a
inmates.
second and let's deal with this. Do you mind swapping them out? So I'll deal with Mr. Walls whenever he decides to get here. So
Yeah, Mr. Walls will be
so
here in about an hour.
when you say it's gonna take longer, what does that mean? Because that lady with the little baby's here.
I'm ready.
Okay,
And my officer, she's back, Your Honor, investigation. I'm ready whenever you are.
all right. So you want to go ahead with Deshaun Durham?
Ready, Your Honor.
All right. Because go on up, yeah. That way the lady with the small baby can. That just means there's pressure to keep it moving, Mr. McCauley. Oh, now she's asleep, right? I'll be very quiet.
Well, they investigated and decide if there's further action that needs to be taken.
May I approach,
And if
Your
there
Honor?
is, they have
Yeah.
hearings and then they issue.
All right, raise your right hand.
Their decision.
Swear firm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, state your name, spell it for the court reporter, please.
It's Leonard Romano, Leonard Romano.
All right, stand by till the,
My name is Leonard. People just call me nerd.
let me know what you get, Ms. Watts.
Yeah, not turquoise. This guy looks like the cop from The Wire. What was his name? Not Herc. Herc was the other guy.
Okay, this is Deshaun Durham, 22 CP 214-685, 156 days without indictment. There's a $70,000 good bond. 214-685, 156 days without indictment. There's a $70,000 good bond as of April the 6th.
5 months.
Possession of firearm during the commission of or attempt to commit
That's right, it
certain
was
felonies
Bunk.
that criminal damage to property.
It looks like Bunk from The Wire.
4 or 5 times 5 and 1 count of aggravated assault. Go ahead, Mr. McCauley.
Yes, is it investigator or detective?
Detective.
Detective, where are you currently employed?
The
You
Union
do
City
hear
Police
dog
Department.
snores, Jessica.
And were you employed with them on November the 8th, 2022?
Yes.
How did you become aware of Deshaun Durham?
I received a call from our captain, Captain Brooks, in reference to a shooting that had just occurred. We arrived on scene.
On
Me and,
just
some fellow detectives arrived on scene approximately maybe 20 minutes after occurrence. We were advised of multiple people that were shooting in the complex.
What address is this at?
This is Union Landing Apartments, 4712 Flat Shoals Road.
And what county is that in?
That's going to be in Fulton County.
Great Leonard Cohen song.
So, through your investigation, I know you said there was multiple shootings and things of that sort. Can you tell us, from your investigation, what occurred, at this incident?
Rush
Yes,
Judgment
sir.
says every time you say Jessica, I think you're talking to me.
When
I'm
we were
talking
able
all
to
of the
pull
Jessicas.
video footage from the incident, I did speak with Mr. Durham on scene. I spoke with another individual later on that was involved in the second party. So there's 2 parties involved in this. One is Durham, another one is a group of multiple individuals. And I'll walk you through the video footage first. On the footage, you can see the group of people standing by their vehicle, around their vehicles. You can see Durham walk up to the group from a distance. That distance had to be at least
Nerd is watching.
somewhere around 100
From a
feet, probably. The video footage, it does skip partially due to it recording motion. What you can see on the video is a black male with a hoodie pointing a gun in the direction of Durham.
And just for clarity, this is, you said it was 2
Defense
parties.
attorney.
So do you want to label them party 2 is that group of people, right?
Party 2, yeah, party 2 could be the group of people.
And party 1 will be
Durham.
Mr. Durham. Okay.
Yeah,
Talk
so
over one another.
I'm
Be
sorry.
careful, you're gonna make Porter angry.
Yes, Your Honor. So can you please describe, when you said party two, who are you referencing?
Party two is a group of multiple individuals. I believe there are around 5. The video footage is fairly far away, so it is hard to make out distinctive features, but you can see gross movements. One of the group,
Gross movements?
a male with a black hoodie pointing a gun in the direction of Mr. Durham. You can see in the video, Durham starts to walk away. Then he turns around, runs in the direction of what we labeled party two, and he fires one round using the car as a bit of cover. At that time, the male that was pointing the gun also fires. And looking at the video footage, they fire pretty much at the exact same time. I can't determine which one fired first.
No, he's much older than 14. He's got full neck tat.
Individuals that were in the large group, the group two, started firing back. They all ducked from the first shots. They ducked and started firing back at what they perceived a threat. Durham flees to his building. The group of 2 flee in 2 cars. The shooting lasted 17 seconds from the initial first shot to the last shot. And then I did talk to both Durham and one of the individuals in that group, the shooting, who gave clarity on it.
I don't think he has a.
Not directly. I have a notepad. I can get rid of that if you want.
Just don't read from it. Look down, refresh your recollection, and then.
Okay.
Yeah, this whole don't read from your notes, review your notes to refresh your memory. That's just a legal fiction. It's something they just do. Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, here's your notes. Look at your notes. Don't read your notes. Just read them, look at them, and then just tell us what you remember after having read your notes. It's just a thing. Ryoji Mata says, well, this was something to come home to, 1 hour behind. It gets better. Well, and by better, I mean less horrific.
So I spoke.
Unless you're talking about this guy's tie. That's pretty horrific.
With both Durham and one of the individuals.
And what is that individual name, sir?
Calvin, Mr. Watts. Do you mind if I get his?
Great successes, Jeff. What about reaction videos, watching things for the first time and react to it? That's what we're doing right now. we're doing that right now. I've seen about 15 minutes of this whole stream. So that's exactly what we're doing.
His exact name?
Please.
I don't know. It's Calvin Watts. CELVIN.
Calvin and Hobbes.
WATTS. Calvin Watts was the individual. So let me back up. So Calvin Watts and his girlfriend Reese were having an argument. The reason Calvin Watts was over there was because he was moving out. And they got into an argument. When I spoke with Mr. Watts, he said that he had to be, his cousins were breaking up a fight. And that's when Durham had started saying something to them. They ignored it at first because they couldn't really hear what was going on because they're having this incident. And then they heard, what y'all can't fight is what Watts was saying. And they're kind of looking at him, and that's when he ran up and shot at them. Now, I spoke with Durham, and what he told me is he saw a group, the male assaulting the female physically, and when he walked up, probably on the video it looked like maybe like 10, 20 feet, he walked up and confronted that individual, Calvin Watts, about why are you beating on this girl? And they told, if I remember correct, I have the words in my notes, but it essentially was, he stated, mind your own business. before I air this bitch out is the words that he told me.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why he was arrested.
And then he started shooting, and then the other group started shooting. So both parties are claiming they fire back in self-defense.
Poor bulldogs. Why are they poor bulldogs? They
two,
living like kings and
I know
queens
you
over
have
there,
Kelvin
sleeping
Watts.
peacefully.
Who else was a part of that party?
Yeah, Miss Reese, and a cousin. Do you mind if I look to check
Please
the
do.
name? So Kelvin was Quiana Reese.
Can you spell that for the record?
Yes, Quinajaja, Reese, Reese.
So when you fight with Reese, someone named Reese, did you like fight over whether he got his chocolate in her peanut butter or whether she got her peanut butter in his chocolate? If you're old and remember the Reese's commercial, then you know that was funny. If not,
One of the cousins that was identified, I should have it here. Yeah, I believe this might be a cousin. It's Brian Norman. And this is all, the names were given by Mr. Watts when I spoke with him. So the Brian Norman is going to be BRIANANORMAN.
That doesn't sound right.
And then an uncle named Tucci and an individual called Man.
Okay.
That's the nicknames that he knew.
Yeah. I would guess Man is a nickname. Thanks for pointing that out, Officer Nerd. Man. That's a nickname.
Person's nickname?
Tucci, Tuchie.
Okay.
Tucci and Man.
Gotcha.
Oh, those are neighbors that were alleged to be out there.
Okay.
But I was not able to speak with them.
So when in group 2, when Mr. Durham started shooting, was Calvin Watts a part of that group?
Yes, he's stated he was.
Was Quiana Reese a part of that group?
That's unknown because I can't see physical faces. Kelvin Watts is the only individual who I was able to talk to directly who said, yes, they shot back. And I believe one of his, he also told me the other individual, let me get the name, also did. His name's...
As you're getting at, was Brianna Norman a part of that group?
Yes. Yes, he was part of the group as well.
Was Tucci part of the group?
No, those are neighbors they were out there. He told me they were out there helping him move, but I don't believe or have any way to prove that they were part of the core group.
Okay. You was about to get in an additional name. Do you have that name now?
It's a name I already mentioned.
Okay. In the video, do you see
I see only
Mr. Durham
metaphysical faces.
shooting the gun?
Yes.
Do you see him shooting the gun towards group 2?
Yes.
You have 5 warrants for criminal damage to property. What was the basis for each warrant? Let's go through individually.
Sure. Each one was a vehicle that was struck with gunfire during this incident. Let me grab those warrants to find the vehicles.
Unhung Hero says, didn't Darrell Brooks have an arrest or two in
Please
Georgia?
go
I
ahead.
can't remember. I don't remember something in Georgia.
For criminal damage to property in a second
Someone
degree,
with autism should
what
look
was the
and see
basis
if he
for
ever
that
appeared in
warrant?
front of Judge May.
Go ahead.
So overall, all of these are vehicles that were damaged during the shooting. All of them had gunfire damage. I can list the vehicles and the owners if you wish, but all these vehicles did not have damage prior and then had gunfire damage.
Okay.
And this is off of the warrants, a 2018 Hyundai Tucson owned by Jonathan Williams, JOHNATHON,
Great SUV.
Williams, WILLIAMS. A 2012 gray Chevy Cruze that was owned by Tamrella Zachary, Tamrell.
My chat is the best chat.
Zackery. 2010 Jeep Liberty Patriot. That's owned by Harold Frazier, HAROLDFRAZIER. A 2018 Hyundai Elantra that's owned by Calvin Watts, previously stated. A 2019 Chevrolet Malibu, that's owned by Flex Cars or rental. It was actually rented by Calvin Watts's family. That was one of their a vehicle that they were using. It was owned by Flex Car.
And which family member rented it?
I have it somewhere. I just don't know directly. It was, I believe, his mother, but Calvin Watts's email was on it, so it's kind of blurred. But it was their family had rented it, and I could get that information later. I have that in my larger case file.
Okay. Can you please describe the damage to the 2018 Honda?
The 2018 Honda. Trying to remember the exact damages. I can tell you the ones I know off the top of my head very quickly.
We're gonna go down the line anyway. The 2018 Honda.
I don't remember the exact damage. That may have been either the hood or the is that Calvin Watts' car?
Williams.
It may have been.
You're the detective. You should be. You're the one that should be telling him who the car belonged to, there, Chief. Is it just me, or does this guy like have a green shirt with a green tie and a green jacket?
The top of the roof or the front. I don't recall. There's photos documented. I just don't recall it.
And how much was the damage that occurred?
I don't have the exact estimates. They're bullet hole damages. So I would assume you would need to.
The 2012 gray, what is that, by Zachman?
That one was also the roof, I believe.
Can we ask that he only answers questions that he knows the answers to? If he doesn't know, can we just say like, I don't know, instead of I
Okay. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one.
He doesn't know. That's good enough. Don't know. Okay.
Your Honor, could we have the witness take less Prozac before the hearing, please? I don't know. Whose car is it? I don't know. I got it somewhere. I just don't know right now. Okay. And what car was he driving? Hyundai Tucson I don't know. Dude, don't bake before court.
The damage to the 2010 Jeep Liberty?
Yeah, that had one on the driver's side near the door. And it also had one on the front area, kind of around the hood grill area.
The 2018 Honda Elantra? Hyundai, I believe.
Hyundai. You're both, for fuck's sakes, it's Hyundai. Hyundai is not difficult to pronounce. Hyun, like H Young, but without a G. Hyundai. Hyundai. It's easy. Damn it. Okay, that's a trigger for me, if you noticed. It freaks me out that nobody can pronounce Hyundai correctly.
Hyundai.
It's not a Hyundai, fucker. I'm sorry.
I can't really recall exactly. I think I do, but I'm not gonna stay on record. I'm not sure.
And 2019 Chevy Malibu.
They're in the South. Everything is hard
I don't
to
quite
pronounce.
recall.
Nice. That's funny. Hyundai means modern.
But this should be documented in the police report as well, I believe.
Like
Do you have the police report with
Hyun
you?
is
I do.
now current and
Can you
day
please
is like
refer to your
time
police
periods,
report
like,
so we
like
can go ahead
modern
and discuss
times,
the
modern.
damages, sir?
Yes, it is not Hyundai. It's Hyun, Hyun, Hyundai. Not Hyundai either. Not Hyundai, Hyundai, none of that. It's Hyundai. But if you say Hyundai,
And
nobody will know what the
respectfully,
hell
we
you're
will be
talking
starting with the
about.
2018 Honda. Can you please discuss the damages to the 2018 Honda?
The officer did not document. Usually they document it. That's usually policy, but they did not document it.
Okay, in the 2012 gray. Gray Chevy, what was the damage to that vehicle?
I can't recall the exact, there's a lot of
Damn
different
it.
damages on different vehicles. All of them sustained
This guy's Dennis Fung. This is Dennis Fung on the stand. He can't recall anything.
gunshot damage, but I can't recall the exact position from all of them.
It's literally your job, dude.
Do you see the person who was shooting the gun into group 2 in the courtroom at this time?
Yes.
Can you please describe an article of clothing that he is wearing?
Navy shirt with a long sleeve white shirt.
May the court recognize he has positively identified the defendant?
Noted.
Were you post certified during this investigation?
I was.
No further questions at this time.
All right, Cross.
Detective Leonard Romano?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct, okay. Okay, so honestly, I was very confused. It seemed like there's a lot going on, so I'm gonna have to just review everything, and I apologize for that. You said that you arrived 20 minutes after the shots were
So-
reported fired?
Roughly, I'm roughly something around that.
Okay. Do you know who called 911?
Yeah, we had multiple calls.
Do you know how many?
I don't know the exact.
Oh, Jesus God, dude, do you know anything? Do you know seriously? Okay, I was making excuses for this defendant and as to why, I mean, against this defendant, I was making excuses for the prosecution. Clearly this guy should have been arrested. He should have been there. But holy crap, this cop knows nothing. He knows, let this guy walk because the prosecutor doesn't have any knowledge about anything that happened. Holy crap. Dude. Cop, review your notes or something before you get there, man. Jim Satala asks, did they recover any Roscoe's or any boomsticks?
That's right. Shop smart. Shop S-smart. You got that?
Boomsticks. Sorry. All right, let's keep going.
Amount. There were multiple calls, if I remember.
Okay. And do you know who called?
I don't have their names with me. I have the case file. It's in the case file. I do recall some of the things that they were saying.
Okay, what did they say?
One of the calls, they called about hearing fire, what they thought were firecrackers, and then they saw 2 cars leave. There's a white Chevy Malibu, and then a gray sedan that's going to be Kellen Watt's vehicle. But they did not see exactly what happened, and that was kind of the consensus. Most people didn't see what was happening, but they were hearing gunshots.
Okay, so
Or
that
firecrackers.
person reported a white Chevy Malibu and a gray sedan leaving.
Yes.
Do you know who those
Life is a
cars
blur.
belong to?
Yes, the rental vehicle that we talked about, the flex car, that's one of them, and the other one is Kelvin Watt's vehicle, the one we talked about.
Okay.
That one sustained damage to the front of it. The other one sustained just one bullet, now that I recall.
So both of those left and then came back?
They didn't return to the scene.
How did you find out the damage that was done to them?
Correction, the one vehicle was on scene. I apologize. I got my cars mixed up.
Of course you did.
Watt's car was on scene. The Chevy Malibu left the scene.
Okay, so gray sedan was there. Okay, so let's back up then.
Okay.
So did two cars leave?
Two cars did leave.
Do you know what those two cars were?
I know for a fact that one was the that flex car. I don't quite recall the second vehicle. There's a lot of vehicles involved in this case.
Sounds like it. Okay, so how many shots were reported?
Would you like, I have the shell casings if you want to do that.
Absolutely.
Jesus. I have the shell casings if you want to do this. Oh, my Lord. I'm sorry to keep stopping this, but I need a break from this guy. He is driving me up a wall. So apparently the defendant was choking out his wife or his girlfriend, or was doing something to her, was beating on her. Some other dude comes up and says, "Why you hitting on her?" And he's like, "Hey, you mind your own business before I Swiss cheese her." And then they all get involved in a shooting match. That's the gist of this, at least from what he can remember. Jason Gilman Jr. Hey, what's up? Member for 5 months of the Clean and Sober Crew, says sneaking away from work for a minute. Awesome. But that was like an hour and a half ago. And Fondin, hey, what's up? Who's also been a member of the Legal Vices Fallen Angels for 7 months. Says, I have a swamp full of turtles, catfish, hogs, and gators beside my place. Perfect place for these things. I refuse to call them people. That's when we were talking about the gentleman before. The gentleman at the beginning. Thanks, Vices. I didn't get any of that story.
Okay. $29.
Shots were reported?
I have, well, let me make that clear. 29 shell cases were recovered by us. As far as the shots heard, nobody were able to say specific. They just said they heard multiple, or they're hearing firecrackers, some of the sort, on the 911 calls.
Okay, so I know you said multiple, so we're saying 2+ calls came in?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't know the identity of any of the callers at this time?
No, not this time.
Would all of those 911 calls been preserved into evidence?
Yeah, I have recordings of that, and I have the CAD reports.
And they're preserved into evidence?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Did anyone on the 911 calls say how many?
Cool? Who said cool? What the hell was that? Was that the defense lawyer? What the hell was that? Wait.
And they're preserved in evidence?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It was the defense lawyer. Okay, cool. What was that? This is weird. This is really, really weird.
Did anyone on the 911 calls say how many shooters there were?
I don't recall if anyone mentioned that.
Why the hell would you recall anything?
Were any suspects identified by name during those calls?
I don't recall.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm a goddamn psychic. How did I know he wasn't going to know the answer to that question?
Was there ever any description of the suspects given?
I don't recall.
I know you responded. What are the other officers' names that responded?
The reporting officer is Stacy Armstead. I know, I think Detective Ashley Davis was out there with me.
Ashley? Okay.
And as far as everyone else, I'm not, I think Captain Brooks was there. There were a lot of officers that responded because it was the middle of the day. So I don't have all their names at this time, but everyone's issued a body camera and that is all preserved.
All of those would have been?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a new piece of information. It was daytime.
Including yours?
Yes.
Okay. What time did the call come in?
12:05. I think it's 12:05.
And you said in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
Was the crime scene secured when you arrived?
Bailiff's gonna cuff that
It's
kid.
okay.
And throw it out.
She can like walk around in the back if she, just pace if she needs to stand up or something, since I know she's family or what have you. That's fine. I understand. It's okay.
If I recall, there was still a little bit in the process, but yes, it was secured
So
by the time I got there.
when you arrived, they were in the process of securing it.
Yes, and had it pretty much secured.
This guy knows less than Jon Snow. Nice. That was good, Jim.
Were you the lead when you arrived?
I was assigned it. I believe I was a lead at the beginning, yes.
Needs a body
Were any
cam
of the
for
witnesses
daily
located?
activities?
No one directly that
You guys are
could
hard.
see that saw the shooting. No.
What did you first do when you arrived?
When I first arrived, I
promptly forgot
began
why I was there.
Locating shell casings while everybody else was around.
police
One of the
work.
officers located Durham. We spoke with him. But since our role is kind of do everything, I started with trying to find out exactly what we had on the scene as far as shell casings, damaged vehicles, other items of evidence, scan around to see who else is standing about, that sort of thing.
Okay, so you were in charge of finding shell casings, not like a tech team or anything like that?
Not like doing real
No,
police
I
work.
don't believe we had one at the time.
Okay.
They didn't
Are
let you do
trained
anything
to
important? Is that what you're saying?
Collect the evidence then?
Yes.
So you said that one officer found Mr. Durham and talked to him. What did he say?
So Durham said he had a nickname for the individual and his Instagram account. That's for this. He's talking about Calvin Watts, but he doesn't have his direct name. And he said that there was an argument. And there's a physical altercation.
His nickname was Instagram account? I did not hear that right. Time out. I did not hear that right. His nickname is not Instagram account.
And he said that there was an argument and there's a physical altercation with this female that he saw. So he saw.
Let's slow down. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. So Durham said that he saw a physical altercation between Watts. He didn't know the name.
And his baby, I think he called him the baby mama, or it might have been between a girl and Calvin Watts.
Okay.
And he came up to approach them. He's still from a great distance, but he said something to him like, "Why y'all beating that woman? Y'all can't fight her," something along those lines. And that's when they told him, "Mind your own business," before you before you get something about getting this smoke or something, alleging something along those lines. And then that's when he said that they started to shoot at him.
Yeah, so their nicknames apparently are Instagram account and baby mama. Oh my Lord, cops, come on. Come on, man. Let's go Green Lantern. You can do better than that. Your nickname now is Green Lantern. Oh God.
And then he ran away. And he shot once. After they started shooting at him, he shot once. And then he put his gun back into a vehicle. He showed us where he ducked down. That was like a gray like a whitish grayish Hyundai, where he had ducked down. There's easy bullet holes. The windows are smashed out of that from bullet damage. And he showed me the vehicle where he put his firearm, and he helped let us get that firearm.
Okay, so the whitish grayish
Whitest?
Hyundai, what one was that?
The whitest guy in court is Officer Green Lantern. That's the whitest.
Okay, so the whitish grayish Hyundai, what one was that?
It was a Hyundai SUV.
Okay, so that's not one of the ones you included for the criminal damage.
It is. It should be. It is. I'm just trying to remember if it's the
Oh,
Tucson.
the Tucson.
Yes.
Okay, that would be the Tucson.
Yes.
Okay, so the 2018 Hyundai Tucson, he ducked behind it.
Well, that's where he started shooting from, yeah. And he ducked behind there. But what his statements were, they started shooting at him. He fired around, ducked behind there, and then basically got out of there.
Judge Manning
So
looks
the damage
confused.
to the Hyundai Tucson, you didn't know what the damage was, correct?
I didn't know what it was.
You said that on direct, you said, I don't know what the damage was.
Yeah, now I kind of remember.
Oh, God, fucking hell. Oh my God. No. The defense lawyer is helping him. I don't know what's going on. Well, didn't you say this? Oh yeah, now I remember. Oh my God. Green Lantern, you are the best. What the hell was that? Oh yeah, now I remember.
Son, you didn't know what the damage was, correct?
I didn't know what it was.
You said that on direct, you said, I don't know what the damage was.
Yeah, now I kind of remember, because they're shooting from the the passenger side of the vehicle towards the back. So the back passenger rear glass and shooting that way. So the back glass, the back window are smashed out because they're shooting that way towards him.
Who's they?
Group, well, the way labeled as group 2, the larger group that was shooting at Durham.
So you charged Mr. Durham with shots that were coming at him for criminal damage?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what he reported to you. And on the video,
oh, that's funny.
You were able to get the video. Where was that video, like footage taken from?
Yeah, so it was on top of kind of on top of the building, facing off the wall, and you can see there's, if you look at the apartment buildings, there's, I wish we were trying to draw it out. There's one apartment building that's kind of parallel, and then there's another one later, but that doesn't really matter. And then there's another one, so it's kind of a 90-degree almost.
It's like an L?
Kind of, but they're separated by a parking lot. Durham's at one of them, the farther one, and the other group are at that parking lot.
I refuse to believe this guy's a
I would
real
say the
police
video
detective.
footage is probably out from them or from the camera seeing them.
Let's do both.
Okay, so I would say from the camera to them is probably at least closer to 100 feet, and then from the parties separated, I'd say 100 feet. We didn't measure it because I didn't have a device to measure it at the time.
Tyrone Walls is in court. This is the defense lawyer that has not shown up for 2 or 3 times, that has the wrong email listed in his bar address information, and who Judge Manning has previously told to get his information updated. This is the guy that set the hearing that he wasn't attending. And Judge Manning sees him and she's boiling. Well, let's all take a break here from Officer Green Lantern. There's no way you're going to convince me that he's an actual real police officer hearing this, but oh my God, we are 2 hours into this and I've been so non-grifty today. We have 414 people here currently and 464 likes. Please, if you have not done so, hit that like button. And if you haven't, please, I would just be so thrilled with you if you would subscribe to the channel. This is what we do here. If you haven't subscribed, we do reactions to the trials like this. We watch some things. We do our own trial streams. We have guests on. This is my 1-year anniversary month, so we're going to have a lot of guests here. Some really important, really cool, really fun guests. For example, what do we got? What do we got coming up? Monday we have. We're going to be doing the Franklin expedition to find the Northwest Passage across Canada. We're going to have an expert on the Franklin expedition. Jeff Peters is his name. He is an Australian who is part of the Retired Afloat YouTube channel, where he goes around for 6 months of the year, sailing with his wife around the world in their boat. And then he spends about 6 months of the year on cruise ships talking about things like the Franklin expedition and other maritime disasters. Tuesday will be Nina Infinity, and if you don't know Nina Infinity, you got to come and see Nina Infinity. Tuesday's stream is going to start at a weird time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We love Nina. Nina is a great person. I've been trying to get her on for a very long time. Wednesday, I'm just going off the top of my head here. Wednesday should be Good Logic. Joe should be here. Thursday will be Hayden. Friday will be my monthly Fuck It Friday Griftathon. it'll be my 1-year anniversary. So we're going to have a huge panel, lots and lots of guests coming in. You bring all of your money and throw it all at me. We try to get all of our grifting done in one day, so I don't have to grift for the rest of the day. It's just kind of all bonus at that point. We just try to get it all out of the way, have fun. It's a tongue-in-cheek way of me just getting everything done. $200 shots, something like that. Not yet. Neo Dark Matter, Nina is a fun badass. She is so fun. Well, we're gonna have a great time. But yeah, so Friday will be the fucking Friday stream. Do not miss it. Everybody's going to be here. We're going to just talk about everything that's random and weird and wild, and we just let the conversation go. And the more money you put in my super chats, the more alcohol I consume, and which makes it more interesting. It's just a one thing. The 3 p.m. show will go for 2 hours with Nina, as always. But yeah, so the fucking Friday streams, they usually average 5 to 7 hours long because there's just so much going on. And then the following Monday will be another Maritime Monday, and I believe we've got Gosney lined up for that week. 16th Tuesday is Zachariah Anderson's sentencing, so I'll be covering that. And then on the 17th, we'll have Solomon Anderson on to talk about the sentencing. And I believe Gosney is after that. So that'll take us through the next 2 weeks. We've got some, and then we're gonna keep having guests for as long as necessary, as long as possible. So that's what's coming up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. That would be super awesome. We're trying to stay above 36,000. YouTube really doesn't want me to be above 60,000 right now. I mean, 60,000. I wish. Doesn't want me to be above 36,000. We are sitting at 36,012. Thank you, people who just recently subscribed, because we dipped down to 10. Now we're back up. Not Steve on Monday. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's the midstream grifts. A like and subscribe and take our poll. How's our poll doing? We haven't checked in on the poll yet. Again, impromptu Judge Manning chill stream. I liked and subscribed. 14% of you said definitely delightfully unexpected. Tied for second place at 21% each is let's pre-trial and now stay out of Fulton County. And 44% of you said because Judge Manning rocks. All right. Let's get through the last of Officer Green Lantern here. And seriously, you cannot tell me this guy is a real police officer. He just sounds like he just walked off the street and he's pretending. Sort of like the guy that did sign language at Nelson Mandela's funeral that was just a big fraud and didn't know sign language.
But it would be a little bit shorter than that. Probably a little shorter of a distance.
Is the video in color?
It's in color.
Is
In
it
living color?
Does it record audio as well?
It does not.
Okay. So on the video, you see, did Mr. Durham approach the group first?
Yes.
Okay, so he approached the group. How far was he from the group?
So from where he originally was, there's cars, and where he ended up standing is kind of more of the open spot of the parking lot. And he probably came up, I mean, like 30 feet. It's hard to say. So he's probably about maybe 50 feet from them.
Not
Okay.
probably.
That's not where the shooting
Come on,
happened.
officer. Not probably.
I understand.
Okay.
So he approaches the group. He gets within 50 feet of them.
Probably close enough we'd be talking very loudly to hear each other.
Okay. And there's a verbal altercation between the two groups, or between Durham and the group.
Yes, fair to say.
Okay. And you said there was 5 people in that group?
Roughly, I'd have to look at the video footage from my notes to know exact, but around 5.
And Durham was alone?
Durham was alone.
Okay. So verbal altercation happens. He turns and walks away. And by he, I mean Durham.
Yes, he walks back towards the vehicles. Some of it's a little bit harder to see because it's in the shade. And this, I want you to know too that this video isn't always 100% recording. When there's movement, it's recording. So there are slight parts where it doesn't 100% record.
Got you. So the video is like a broad angle.
It is.
Okay. Okay. Then what do you see next in the video?
And at some
Walks
point,
away. Then what happens?
he walks away, and at some point, the one of the people from the group, a male with a black hoodie, points the gun in the direction of where Durham was. You can't quite see him, so I don't really know what's going on. Or no, he points the gun at him.
At Durham.
At Durham. Durham, you can see Durham for part of this because it'll jump you around a little bit, but he walks off. So you see him holding the gun in the direction of Durham. Durham starts walking off back towards his building. The door is like right there. So he's walking off towards that way, towards the vehicles.
So he's pointing the gun while Durham is walking away.
Yes.
Okay.
And Durham, at a certain point, turns and he was walking before. He runs back towards that Hyundai Tucson. He runs back, and while he's running, the second he gets to the car, bam! And then you see the other
bam, the Emerald Lagazi
black male fire too.
Mr. Durham runs back towards the Hyundai.
Yeah. So while
How
you're
far
running,
is that? How far is that from the group?
That's the longer distance. So probably roughly, I would have to say around 100 feet up, but I can't say that's accurate. I'd have to go and measure it.
Can you
Has
say
anyone in
anything
this
accurate?
investigation measured that?
No.
Oh my God.
So he runs back towards a Hyundai, and you said, "Bam!" Who was that
So
coming from?
yeah, so he runs back towards the Hyundai, and you see Durham fire, and you
see what?
You see Durham fire his handgun, and you see the other suspect, the other person, fire as well, essentially at the same time.
And did you ever identify the other person?
I can't say 100% who that person is, but I know the people that were shooting in the group. So Calvin Watts did say he shot once.
So the other group
Durham
had
fired.
multiple guns.
Yes.
Okay. So we don't know identity of the black hoodie guy.
No, but Calvin Watts is charged in this as well.
Okay. And then, so how many guns do you think that other group had?
Judge Manning, she's like,
I could say probably at least 4 is what it looked like. 3 or 4.
At least
now, mind you, they're pretty far from distance, and you see the smoke come out of the gun. You can see the people's shapes. You can see them holding the gun like this, and you can see the smoke come out of the gun when it's fired.
Okay.
That's the sort of video footage we're looking at.
I got you. So that group, you believe, had 4 guns.
That would be safe to say.
Okay.
There must have been at least, I mean, you could look on the shell casings, that would probably be more accurate, but I would say something like that. The GBI, I don't know if they finished processing these or not to tell us that.
that was my question about black hoodie guy. He's a black hoodie guy or black hoodie?
Do you know how many different types of shell casings you found?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he knows something. Well, he'll tell us anyway after.
There's 9mm.
How many? Just these are the different types of shell casings. Okay, so we
I
got
can
9.
tell, I have also the markings on them. So, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Was Cheeseburger involved in this one as well?
So 21
we're in Georgia.
Were 9mm shell casings marked with FC. There is a 9mm shell casing marked with RP, and there's
Only one of those?
only one of those. Oh, I'm sorry. There's 2 more of those 9mm of FC. My apologies.
So
There's multiple
23.
FCs.
23 marked with FC.
Let me be accurate and get a pen out, if you don't mind.
I'm horrible at math too.
Of course you are. You're a lawyer. Lawyers can't do math. It's a scientifically proven fact.
Okay, so 23 marked with FC.
Mhm.
1 marked with RP. There's a 9mm.
Mhm.
Then there's a 40 caliber. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shell casings that were marked with a 40 cal that had markings Underwood on them. And again, since they're not sent out to GBI for testing yet, to make sure that all those 9mm came from, it could be from the same gun or a separate gun.
Mhm. So we won't know that until the GBI gets the report back, correct?
But I know Durham fired 1. There's 1 shell casing by one 9mm shell casing by that vehicle. He testified to me, or he told me that that he fired once, and that's what the evidence shows.
So Durham fired one shot,
Correct.
and that would have been the 9mm?
It's a 9mm, yes.
With the RP?
I would have to look at the
Patent lawyers aren't real lawyers.
To know exactly which one it was.
Just kidding, patent lawyers.
So this gun exchange happens, then what?
So after the gun exchange, Durham goes from behind the car, he goes back towards where his apartment to escape. Then the other group goes into their car. They told me, or Watts told me, that they fled because they were afraid, that he would keep shooting back. So they fled. Same as Durham. Durham said he fled because he was afraid they were going to shoot back. So both parties fled, thinking that they were going to be shot.
Well, that's pretty logical.
Okay,
Seems
so
that
that
both
group,
sides
did
have
everyone
guns.
get into the same car and leave, or was it multiple
No,
cars?
2 cars.
2 cars, and that's the Malibu and the one that you weren't sure which one it was.
They're not 100%, but yeah, it was 2 cars. There's video footage, and I have both those vehicles' plates identified and everything.
And is that video footage preserved into evidence?
Yes, and there's tag reading cameras that helped me acquire the vehicles.
Okay, so you haven't been able to identify anyone else that was in that group other than Calvin Watts?
There's one other that's possible. The problem is
everybody. Yeah.
Calvin Watts directly
That's a
told
good
me
idea,
when
actually.
I interviewed him. He directly told me I was
Shots.
there. He was there. Everybody else, you can't see faces to say 100% who's who, and no one else has been able to. We've been able to either come in or grab or stuff like that.
In the video?
Reese did say she was going to talk to me, but then never showed up.
So Reese never showed up.
Yes.
And you got her name or his name, I'm sorry, from Watts?
Yeah, all the names that we've gotten were from Watts. Reese, I was able to also confirm that from some reports where they did have some domestics that they're talking about before, where they had some stuff going on. So I was able to find her as well and make sure that that's the correct name. But all the names were given by Calvin, the rest of them as well.
How did you find Watts to begin with?
I called him or his mom, and they came in to talk to me.
How did you know to speak to Watts?
I found him out from the rental vehicle who it was owned by, or not owned by, but who had rented it, and partially Durham's testimony.
Shut up.
He gave a Facebook picture, if I remember correctly. It was, or Instagram, it was a social media of some type.
Well, you named him Instagram, so
Okay.
I'm guessing it's going to be.
And he only knew the social media, right?
He had a nickname for him. I wrote it down. I have it. I just don't know it off the top of my head.
Okay.
I believe it was a nickname. It might have been a real name. There was a name given, but it wasn't like, it didn't lead me directly to him. I had to still figure out who he was.
So through the course of your investigation, you found out it was Watts, and then
Yes, talked to him, and they voluntarily came in. Him and his mom voluntarily came in.
okay. And what exactly did he say happened?
So he told me that he was having an argument with. So I'll back it up. When he was going there to move out with his cousins, and he was living with his baby mama, is what he called them, the Reese. So they were all there. He was moving out. Him and Reese got into an argument, and he said his cousins kind of was breaking it up. So he didn't really specify as far as what the physical aspect was, but they were breaking it up. Then during that, he said that he heard who's identified. He didn't identify him there, but who we know is Durham say something to him, say something to the group, and they could really hear what's going on because they're dealing with what they're doing, because they're already in an argument themselves. And then they heard him say something specific. I'm trying to.
Oh my God, this is like reading William Faulkner's Sound and the Fury. This guy is just testifying in like stream of consciousness here. Dude, have a story. Give an answer. Come on, man.
Remember exactly what it was. Oh, y'all can't fight. or something like that. You hear him say, y'all can't fight.
Durham said that to the group.
Yeah, that's what Watts is telling me, that, oh, what, y'all can't fight? And they're like, I don't know what they're talking about. And then they say Durham shot at them. And so then they returned fire and then they fled because they didn't want to get shot.
But that wasn't supported by the video.
Which part?
Their account that he fired and then they returned fire.
Right. Both sides said that the other party fired first. So yes, and in the video, it shows them firing together.
Simultaneously, you said, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, so when did you actually arrest Mr. Watts?
I don't know if I have that with me. I believe we interviewed him. We interviewed him. We tried to find more. We got warrants for both parties, and I don't remember exactly what point. It's in a warrant. So it'll be in a warrant. I'm not sure the exact day off the top of my head.
Okay, just give me 1 second to review. Are all of the interviews videotaped?
Yeah, all the interviews are videotaped.
And they would be preserved into evidence?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I certainly can't
Did
remember
you
anything.
assess the damage to the cars? Did you see the damage to the cars personally?
I saw them. There was a lot going on, but I did see them. And each did have bullet strikes. I did not have those appraised personally, and I haven't received that yet. As far as I don't have any of that.
Did anyone have them appraised?
No.
Okay, no one's had them appraised.
Well, they may have had that for their insurance, but I don't have any of that information, no.
Why would you have that information?
And is that part of your investigation that you would like look at the damage to the car and try and identify which bullet hit it? Is that something that is possible?
It depends. So we do have one bullet extract. I believe we did get a fragment extracted from the red Jeep Cherokee.
And what was the?
And we also say it again.
What was the bullet out of the red Jeep Cherokee?
That was the driver's side, like the door. Because if it was, yeah, it's about the driver's side door. So, and then of course, the location of the cars and the shell casings with the photographs, you could probably draw a conclusion where the shots
about?
came from.
Which
But some
sheet?
of them, like skipping out
defense
the
lawyer?
roof,
I
would be
don't
a
know.
little bit difficult.
I don't know how any of them have.
But yes, that would be something we would look into.
You would look into or you have?
I sent the bullet off to the GBI, but I can't say 100% where it came from. There was no trajectory done, if that's what you're kind of asking.
When is that usually done?
It did a case-to-case basis. We didn't do a trajectory for this case.
Is it too late to do that now?
Is it? I don't think so. If you got the car still impounded.
Pretty much. What you would be able to do is take the locations of the vehicles based off pictures, and they're shooting opposite to each other. So you could kind of, for some of them, you would be able to put a picture together of where those most likely came from. Some would be more difficult, but the video footage is so far away too that wouldn't even really be too much of an aid. But that's something that's.
Okay, so you said that they're on two different sides, correct?
Yes.
The group party 2 is over here and Mr. Durham is over here.
Yes.
Mr. Durham is hiding behind the Hyundai Tucson.
Yes.
On what side is the gray Chevy Cruze on? Party 2 side or Mr. Durham side?
All of the vehicles are either, so the only one that had damage, if I recall correctly, on Durham's side was that vehicle. The other ones were either in between or right next to adjacent. The ideas behind this is the causation of the shooting, who caused the shooting to occur.
That's cool, Cole.
Was the reason why all these cars are damaged.
That's sweet. Awesome.
In my mind.
I don't know how I did it, but
Can you repeat
cool.
that? I'm sorry.
The causation of the shooting, whoever caused this shooting, is the reason why these cars are damaged.
Not the actual bullets.
The bullets caused the damage, that's correct, but depending if they were defending themselves or not.
Damn fool.
Okay. Did any witnesses say that they heard anything other than the gunfire?
Not that some of the callers said they saw the two vehicles leaving. That's one of the things that was told.
They didn't hear anything though.
No, no one heard, no one that I know of heard the argument or anything like that. We didn't have any.
Did you go
witnesses said
door to
that.
door?
I didn't do a canvas.
Did
I
anyone?
didn't have resources. And I don't believe we did a canvas.
You said a lot of officers responded because it was in the middle of the day,
Yes,
but you didn't have the resources to go door to door?
I did not, no.
Is it too late at this point to go door to door?
You could, but it's something that could be done. But I would say you want to do it that day or the day after. You don't want to do a follow-up the day after at least, if you can.
If you can.
Okay. All right, thank you so much.
All right, anything else on direct?
Nothing on direct, Your Honor.
Oh, my God.
Anything else? This officer,
Nothing else for this officer. The officer can be released. Your
all
Honor.
right, thank you, officer. Be safe out there. All right, go ahead with the argument.
Yeah, we wouldn't want anything to happen to
Your
Green
Honor,
Lantern.
before she can go ahead, I would like to add 2 additional charges of aggravated assault for Kiwana Reese and Brianna Norman. They were part of the group in party 2.
Actually, Your Honor, I believe that the detective said that he was never able to positively identify anyone in that group other than Mr. Watts.
Mr. Watt.
That Mr. Watts gave him some names for the group, but they were never able to positively identify that those people were there, and they have refused to come in and speak with them.
And I also asked, were they part of that group? And he said yes.
Well, he hasn't been, she said he's not been able to Watts gave him the names, but he hasn't been able to positively identify them because they haven't came in. So he could have said Alex Manning was there, but until I go in, yeah, he can't identify them. So that may be something you obviously follow up with, but yeah, I'm not going to add those 2.
There you go.
Anything else?
Good job, man.
Nothing else from the state, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. For all of the criminal damage to property, we are asking those to be dismissed for lack of probable cause. They are charged in the 2nd degree, which says intentionally damages any property of another without consent and damage exceeds $500. I specifically asked what the cost of the damage was, and he said that they have not gotten any information back on that from any of the.
See, this defense lawyer, she's good. She's good for pointing these out. He couldn't say who he's testified. He didn't know who was in the group. The damage to the vehicles, he said he doesn't know how the damage happened to the vehicles. This is the problem with his officer. Mr. Goldenrod said defund the police and see what happens. You know, I don't think you should defund the police. I think you should just defund this guy. He needs a new career. He doesn't know how the vehicles were damaged because the results haven't come back. He doesn't know who did it. Good lawyer. I like this girl.
Parties. Additionally, Your Honor, specifically in regards to the 2018 Hyundai Tucson, that was the one that he was hiding behind. Mr. Durham was hiding behind. And the detective did say that the shot was coming towards him. I don't think that he could have been the one shooting it. If he was
So there you go. You can't
hiding
charge him with
behind.
damage to the vehicle. He was hiding behind when the other officer testified that all the bullets were flying at him.
We don't know any of the damage. Again, I went through specifically asking what the damage was for all of them. He didn't know, didn't have that information on him. There's no way to know any of the amounts.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. McCauley.
One moment, Your Honor, please.
He must fall to his knees, says Mandy, in prayer every night and give thanks to his deity of choice that his
Turn that
stupidity has yet
microphone
to
back
become
on.
fatal.
Ambria said you sound low. I think it's off.
It's off.
It's green.
Oh, okay. Maybe you need to pull the microphone down.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. LT, you can get.
Thank you, Mandy.
Is it mom? Well, mom and the baby to come back in if she wants, or did she leave? I don't.
Wait, that was his mother and the infant baby? Is it his baby? Oh my God.
Oh,
there's
okay.
so
If she
many
was
babies.
leaving, that's fine. I didn't want her to have to stay out if she.
Your Honor, we will submit on the evidence, that was provided to the court by the officer, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll find probable cause on the possession of firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies and 1 count of aggravated assault. Without knowing the amount, 1 on the criminal provision 2nd degree, I can't find that. Plus, the detective stated that some of the rounds came from the other direction. I don't know how he could have right around, shot those windows out and came and did that. She leave? Okay, I just want to make sure. So she left, sir. I wanted her to be able to come back in if she wanted. So, possession of firearm during the commission of a felony and 1 count of aggravated assault. It's a $70,000 good bond previously. However, let's see, now that knocks it down. We can hear it again if you'd like.
The defendant has 2 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was August the 8th, 2022 in Union City,
He's got 2 priors.
Georgia, for aggravated assault and battery family violence. Nothing in addition. There are no convictions listed in the GCIC.
Oh, well, no convictions. Interesting.
All right, go ahead. And he's gonna live in Fulton County? Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Oh.
Is it working? Fulton Porter? Tap on it. See if it works. Oh, maybe you need to twist it down here and get it to work. Like, just did it.
Good question. Don't know.
Or, okay, sorry. It's kind of sensitive to.
I understand. The other one, it completely doesn't work. Is this better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Mr. Durham is 20 years old. He turned 20 in jail. He is a high school graduate
my.
of Langston Hughes. He graduated in 2021. Prior to his arrest, he was enrolled in Georgia State for business admin. He has a now 8-month-old daughter who we all met and who lives with him as well. She's adorable. He was working at Walmart as a stalker prior to his arrest, and he hopes that he is able to get that job back.
What's up, Remy?
He's a lifelong resident of Georgia. The address that he can live at is 5414 Hall Circle in Union City, Georgia, and he can live there with his mom. We are asking for a bond not to exceed $10,000, Your Honor. As you heard from today, the aggravated assault
the police suck.
is a stretch. Acting in self-defense, and that is something that we are going to be looking into. So we are asking for the bond not to exceed $10,000, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Mr. McCauley.
Your Honor, this is an egregious act, Your Honor. This is an egregious act in a public area, Your Honor. We are concerned for the public property. We are concerned for the public safety, Your Honor. And we are concerned that for the intimidation of witnesses also, Your Honor.
Saying
that
Your
is
Honor
concerned that the state
repeatedly
do have
doesn't
when we
make your
defer to
case
the court
better.
In regards to the amount of bond.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Kelvin Watts, Kelvin Watts, Jonathan Williams, Tamrell, Tamrell, Zachary, or Harold Frazier, Frazier, anyone that works at Flex Car. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, attorney visits, and employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. And let's see.
We also get an exception for school, Your Honor.
What?
Sure, oh, sure, education, as long as you supply proof of enrollment and that you're actually going. Let's see. Stay away from 4712 Flat Shoals Road.
Flatulence Road, what?
I
That's
got everything. Yeah, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. I don't think there's any hold or anything like that, so.
All right, next is Judge Manning losing her shit at a defense lawyer.
So
She
10,000 and
loses her
10,000.
shit
Best of
completely.
luck to you, sir.
Wait, she said
So 10,000 and 10,000. Best of luck to you, sir.
$20,000 bond. That's not bad. 20 each, so 10,000 each. That's 20,000. If he gets a bond from a bail bondsman.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Get one for $2,000 and be out.
I needed another courtroom name. My case go next room.
Yeah, we can take, it's Jeremy Ingram, Mike. Is that the one? Yeah, Jeremy Ingram. Is that it?
No, Huff.
Oh, Huff.
Freddie Huff.
Sure, bring Freddie Huff. Go ahead, Mr. Walls, before we we're gonna bring out a next case, but go ahead. You weren't here this morning.
This is Judge Manning. This is pretty darn good. Judge Manning is gonna get upset at this lawyer here, Mr. Tyrone Walls. Tyrone Walls has made some bad decisions recently, and the judge is gonna set him real straight. You don't see this very often, but you're about to watch a lawyer get a come to Jesus moment with the judge.
Bring Freddie Huff. Go ahead, Mr. Walls, before we're going to bring out our next case, but go ahead. You weren't here this morning. You're on mute, Mr. Walls.
Your Honor.
Morning.
Forward email communication. I have been in communication with.
Okay, hold on a second. Can't hear. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Yes, I've been in communication with Ms. Watts and Attorney McCullough. It was my understanding that it was made clear I wasn't going to be available today, and that we were looking to schedule another date. I haven't received that date as of yet. I think it was a miscommunication to where I was under the pressure in lieu of filing a conflict letter. Ms. Watts sent the email requesting available dates along with Mr. McCullough. So I think that's where the disconnect was at. And actually right now I'm on bed rest. The case that I had in South Carolina today, I had to have that continue. Either way, I wasn't going to be in this court today. But I am on bed rest. I'm not even supposed to be sitting upright at the moment. And I have my doctor's excuse. So I think it was just a miscommunication.
Yeah, so he's missed a couple of hearing dates. This is I believe they said the third one he's missed. He chose this date, and he's just saying that he sent out an email saying he couldn't make it, so therefore it should be. He thought it was postponed, and he's got a note from his doctor excusing him from court. What he doesn't have is a note from Alex Manning. And look at Judge Manning. She is ready to come down. She's waiting for him to stop talking.
On, I think my part. I work in a lot of different jurisdictions. And procedurally, every jurisdiction does things differently. So I was under the impression that I was excused once I made it known that I had a conflict, and I was included in the email communication with Mr. McCullough.
Okay, so Mr. McCullough can't excuse anybody, one, but there's, under 4.2, entrance of appearance and pleadings, and your appearance, duties, withdrawals, attend, and remain, you got 4.2 and 4.11. There are rules under the Georgia Superior Court rules that you have to do at entry of appearance. You have to file a conflict. There's never a waiver of conflict. I didn't excuse you. One, if you're on bed rest, I get it, but you've got to communicate. I told you to put your contact information on the State Bar website. It is not there. We told you to correct your email information on your pleadings because it is not there.
Yeah, so not only is his bar information bad, but the actual telephone numbers and email addresses and stuff he puts on the actual submissions to court is incorrect. In other words, the court has no way of getting in touch with him that's reliable. And he's been told to fix it, and he didn't. Judge Manning does not like this.
So your email is incorrect. Number, and the final thing, I was advised by Ms. Watts that you hung up on her.
No.
Stop. Never. Don't stop, Mr. Walls. She said you hung up on her, so don't call Ms. Watson. Okay, hold on. Rule one, don't interrupt me. Do not interrupt me. If you were accidentally disconnected or what have you, doesn't matter. You do not speak with Ms. Watts like you did. When you're speaking to Ms. Watts or anybody in my office, you're speaking to me. So unless you want to talk to me like you talk to them, put yourself in check. Smile. It's not funny. I'm this close to holding you in contempt, Mr. Walls. This close. It is not that hard for you to put your contact information, which is required by the rules that you put your contact information on the State Bar website. I told you, Ms. Watts told you, I checked it just a few minutes ago. It's still not on there. And your email on your pleadings that you type is wrong. Your email that you type on your own pleadings is wrong. Your website does it. There's no way to contact you. Well, it looks like you're a little bit put off talking to me, but in the meantime, your client's been here waiting on you to appear. And they said if you had a conflict, you had to file something and give some more dates. I saw the interactions, but you didn't respond with any dates. Well, I am so sorry. I am taking up your time, Mr. Walls.
Now, see, that's one thing I've learned when judges, and particularly women judges, are yelling at you and they're angry with you, and then you cross that line to where they stop yelling at you and they just get Clint Eastwoody, just that, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm taking up your time. She has had enough of this guy. And again, you heard that they were telling him that you have to file this. He was in on the emails. And you tell us some new dates, and he didn't give him the dates. And now Judge Manning is at the end of her rope. She has officially disconnected from the end of her rope.
With any dates. Well, I am so sorry. I am taking up your time, Mr. Walls.
I'm listening to you. I mean, I just don't appreciate your tone.
You don't say that to a judge. I'll tell you what, getting sassy with the judge, talking back to the judge, and telling the judge that you don't like her tone is not something you do. And as you can tell by the look on Judge Manning's face, she doesn't appreciate it either. Do not fuck with the judges. Do not intercourse with the judges.
Mr. Walls, do you think I appreciate you not showing up in front of me when you've been notified twice to come here? You don't put your own information. I'm muting you. You don't put your own correct contact information. I told you personally on the phone, correct your information on the state bar. There's never a waiver of a conflict letter. And then you didn't respond to them, giving them dates where you were actually going to be available. Who does this hurt? Your client. And I hate that you don't appreciate the tone, but I don't appreciate you showing a lack of respect for this court. You may not respect me, you don't know me, you may not like me personally, but you'll respect the decorum of the court and the fact that I'm in charge here today. This is the people's courtroom, and you don't talk to the people like this. But it's funny. So we're going to set this up for a contempt hearing too.
Boom! She's dropping the contempt hammer on him.
What date are you available? Yep, that's what we're going to do. We're going to see about a contempt hearing. Ms. Watts, give me some dates. It could be on the same day we bring him back for his prelim. I've had an officer here 2 times, Mr. Walls. 2 times. And these officers are busy. As you can see, yesterday they responded to a mass shooting. So we take these officers off the street, make them sit in this courtroom and wait. Who's the officer on this case? What date are you available, Sergeant? As long as it's not a Monday or a Tuesday. Miss Watts?
May 11th, next Thursday.
Next Thursday, Mr. Walls. Think you can make it? You're on mute. I muted you because once again you were talking over me.
May the level work for me, Your Honor.
I didn't even hear what you said.
She's done. She's
What
done.
did you say again?
I said, May the 11th work for me, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Watts, what time?
9 a.m., Judge.
All right, we'll also put that on for the hearing on civil contempt. I'll send you the wording for that language for the civil contempt hearing. We'll hear you on contempt then, Mr. Walls. Make sure, once again, I'm advising you for the final time, contact the state bar and put your contact information on the state bar website. It's required that it be there. Number 2, check your pleadings because you type out your email completely wrong. Your contact information is not correct in Fulton County, in Odyssey, and Georgia e-file. You need to correct that yesterday.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll look for the notice.
Well, you're going to have to explain it to your officer, so I mean, you're your own client, why you can't be here, so.
Now he's going to tell her something that you just, again, do not tell a judge.
Would you like to stay?
He's saying you got to tell your client why this is happening. Explain what's going on to your client.
Officer, so, I mean, you're your own client, why you can't be here, so. Would you like to stay on and talk to him after this hearing and explain to him why you're not here, why we're not going forward? Because it's not really my job to do that.
Well, he's been notified through his sister that I had a conflict on that date, so it was.
No, sir, there's no conflict filed. There is no conflict filed in this case. So you can tell people all day long, but there is not a conflict that is filed. This is all I have to go by. The last thing you filed, once again, was your motions. And once again, it had the wrong email address on there.
Like I said, I already explained to my client, so no, I declined to explain to him. I could set up a visit with him to go in more detail. Otherwise, I see him on the 11th.
See you on the 11th at 9 a.m.
Basically, you said I don't have to explain anything to my client. Oh, my Lord.
All right, let's go. We got, this is Mr. Huff. Raise your right hand.
All right, there we go. That is Judge Manning being extraordinarily unhappy with a defense lawyer. May 11th, 9 a.m. is when the contempt hearing is, and you know I'm going to be watching that. May 11th, that'll be when Hayden is here. So Hayden and I will probably watch that hearing together. Hayden from Aussie Overlord. May 11th, 9 a.m. Don't miss it. It's going to be good.
Detective, do you swear? Thank you, officer. I'll see you then. You swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. State your name, spell for the court reporter.
Yes, my name is Monique Edwards Tim. It's Monique Edwards, EDWARDS -T.
Well, that deserves a good Judge Manning.
All right, this is 22 CP 214971, 128 days without indictment. There's a $20,000 good bond as of April the 13th. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of.
No, it's not enough to get disbarred. I mean, what? It's enough to get put in civil contempt. He could face jail time. He could face a fine from the court. But it will go. I mean, once you get nailed with contempt, you're gonna get investigated by the bar. And I mean, he would probably get a verbal reprimand or a written reprimand from the state bar for doing that. Sushan Art is going to leave me for some food. I think you can multitask. Come on, multitask. Listen to me while you eat. That's what you got to do. All right, let's move on to Officer defense lawyer, Mr. Man Bun over here.
The firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies. Were those family members there that came for that other case?
Your Honor, I truly do apologize. That was the victim.
Please tell the victim that we will go forward next time and that I apologize so very much.
So yeah, the dude, the defense lawyer, his client that we just got reamed out, his lawyer and their client, that is the client's victim, alleged victim. So the victim has to come see dude and then be told, sorry, it's not happening today because the other lawyer just can't be asked.
Thank you.
I didn't want to interrupt, Your Honor.
All right. All right, go ahead, Mr. McCauley. Oh, Your Honor. No, I'm sorry. Not Iqbal. No worries. It's aggravated assault, possession of firearm during the commission of a felony. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, officer. Please tell us, how are you currently employed?
I am employed with the City of Atlanta Police Department in a special victims unit.
And are you an investigator or a detective?
Yes, I am a detective investigator for the unit.
And how long have you been doing that?
About 3 or 4 years now.
And what was your role prior to that?
I'm a police officer with the City of Atlanta.
And are you post-certified?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you post-certified on November 24th, 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you happen to be involved in an investigation in this case?
Yes.
On that day?
Yes.
Okay. And can you please tell the court where you responded to?
So I did not respond to the location. The officer had taken a police report and was signed to me, I believe, a few days later, and I was able to start investigating it on November the 28th, 2021.
And looking at the work done by the prior officer, where did the incident take place?
So from the officer's report, he reported to a fight call at 1371 Kimberly Way, Southwest, apartment 5101.
And is that in Fulton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And so what did you do when you first got assigned the case?
So what I used
But
to do
there
was
will
get
be no
the
OJ
officer
next
body
Thursday
camera
because I have to
footage.
interview
The officer
Hayden
was,
that day.
Officer Baker, who's the actual reporting officer, he had made it to the location and spoke to the victim, Miss LaShondra Drain, who advised that she had been dating a male for about 2 years, and they never lived together, and she stated his name and date of birth, I believe, as a Freddie Huff. And she advised Officer Baker that that they got into an argument at that location inside the home apartment building, and she stated that he punched her 3 times in the face and struck her with the butt of a sawed-off shotgun in her, I believe, the left side of her face and the back of her head. And in the officer's statement, from what he saw bruising to the left side of her face and a scratch to the right side of her face near her eye when he arrived on scene.
And you mentioned that he hit her with a sawed-off shotgun, is that correct?
I believe so. That's what she said, a sawed-off shotgun.
Did you, do you know if officers, was there a firearm at that location?
No, the officer tried to knock on the door to see if anyone would open the door because apparently there was some type of gathering at that location. Nobody would participate or open the door at all at that time. So they weren't able to actually see if there was the male had fled. Apparently he had fled before the officers arrived there. So no actual weapon was ever located.
Okay. And I believe you just testified that he hit her on the head. Is that correct?
Yes. Apparently in the back of the head and on the side of her face.
Okay.
Damn.
And then what did he do with the
Boom.
shotgun?
They don't know what happened to it. I guess during that time, I have no idea.
Apologies. I meant to say is how was the shotgun used?
Just to strike her with it. She never said it was pointed, I don't believe, at her at any time or anything like that. Just struck her with the shotgun.
And do you know where it struck her?
Apparently to the back of her head and to the side of her face.
Okay. And were you able to speak with the victim in this case?
So yes, I did speak to her, and she did verify that that's what happened to her when I spoke to her.
And is that Miss LaShondra Drain?
Yes.
LaShundra, is that correct?
Yes, Drain.
Okay.
Drain.
And, so were you able to observe any injuries on her?
Well, she was at work. I believe it was kind of hard to get in contact with her. Eventually, I was able to speak to her over the phone. Also at the location, she was able to show the officer a picture, I believe, of Mr. Huff.
Well, let's go back to the injuries real quick.
Yes.
So were you able to observe her injuries on the body cam that was captured?
Yes, you can see the officer's pictures, like a little swelling, I guess we were showing. And then she also sent me a picture of herself, like actual bruising to her eye.
Okay. And did she advise you that the bruising was caused by Mr. Huff?
Most likely, yes. I'm sorry, yes, she did say it was caused for that incident.
Okay. And do you know if Mr. Huff is a convicted felon?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I ran his criminal history, and it showed that he was a convicted felon for aggravated assault and robbery back in March 2nd, 2020, out of Fulton County Superior Court.
Okay, right. One moment. And you said that she provided you a photo of Mr. Huff?
That is correct. She showed the officer that night, and then she also sent me a picture of it as well. And I believe also I was able to locate a driver's license photo of him when she was able to ID Mr. Huff as the person who caused her injuries to her face.
And do you see that individual in the courtroom here today? You can stand up. Yes.
I can stand up, yeah.
Remove your mask, everyone.
Yes, that is Mr. Huff.
Can you please point to him and describe what he's wearing?
Yes, he is wearing a blue shirt over a looks like a gray shirt under, long sleeve shirt underneath.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that the witness has identified Mr. Huff as the defendant.
Noted.
My dog room needs help. What's wrong with my dog room? It's my studio.
And did you do anything after that? Did you take warrants out against the defendant?
I did. I did take the aggravated assault for the weapon and also the possession of a firearm.
Okay. And after that, did you do anything else in this case?
Usually we have the warrant flagged, and he was picked up, I believe, on November 27, 2022. Other than that, other than filing a report, doing a case file and taking the warrants out, that's all I have done at this point.
Okay, did you speak to the defendant at any time?
Yes, I did. I called the number that she provided, Miss Drain, and apparently, when I spoke to him over the phone, he said he didn't attack her. He believed that another boyfriend injured her and that he was in a shelter and hasn't been around her since. However, Miss Drain provided several phone numbers to people who were at the location. Apparently, a family member named Rico lives there. Wasn't able to provide the information because everybody did not want to talk to me. And she gave a phone number for his wife, Tasha. And I called that number, but it was disconnected. So she also provided another phone number for another young lady who was there, Quisha, her daughter's phone number. So I called around trying to get people to talk to me. And eventually I was able to speak to Tasha and over the phone. She didn't want to cooperate. She basically said that they were at the home, but she told them to leave once they were arguing at the home. She said that she did see an injury, but she does not want to cooperate whatsoever to what's going on between the victim and the suspect. Basically, she said she didn't see an actual physical fight, but she said she saw an injury. She does not want to continue on.
So just to clarify, she saw the fight and saw the injury?
She did not see the fight. She just saw that I believe Ms. Drain was injured because she did not want to cooperate. She wouldn't give me her name, her full name or anything like that, I believe.
Okay. And when you were speaking to the defendant, I believe you testified that he said he was at a shelter and wasn't there. Was he able to provide the name of a shelter that he was there at?
I tried to contact him later on and try to get some more information. I never was able to get in contact with him to verify that. Because I need the name of the shelter, anything like that, at least to show something, and I wasn't. And she does have visible injuries, so I believe there was enough probable cause to move forward with charges at that time.
Okay. Nothing further at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Cross.
Again, it was Detective Edward Timms.
Yes, you can just say Edwards. It's easier for everyone.
Detective Edwards. So was it Miss Drain who initially called the police?
I'll have to go back and look at that, but I believe she was the one that called 911. I'll have to check on that one.
Okay.
See, now, for some reason, when she says, I don't know, I'll have to check on that one, she sounds a lot more like reasonable than Officer Green Lantern was. I mean, when she says, I don't know, I'll have to check on that, I don't remember. I'm much more willing to cut her some slack.
And you said that you were not responding or responding.
No, it's a responding officer takes the report and it is assigned to us maybe a day or two later.
All right. After that, you said that it was an Officer Baker who responded.
That is correct.
Was there any other officer with Officer Baker?
I can't remember, but most likely it was another person there because of a fight call with a weapon.
Okay. And this was again at 1371 Kimberly Way.
That is correct.
Is that a residence?
I believe it's an apartment complex.
Do you know whose apartment specifically you or Officer Baker responded to?
So I did write, I believe it's going to be Ashley Cascade Apartments. Yes, I think that's the name of the location.
Was it Miss Drain's residence?
No, apparently it's a family member of Mr. Huff.
That back is just straight.
And do you happen to know the identity of that family member?
No, nobody would cooperate. I only have a name of Mr. Rico, and I never was able to speak to him.
All right, first time hearing that name. Do you know how Mr. Rico was involved in this case at all?
So, Mr. Rico, I believe his mother had passed and they were having something at the apartment that day, so that night. So that's the only thing I can tell you from what Miss Drain had told me. Advised officers, I believe, as well. So the officers did knock on the door multiple times to see if they could get anybody inside to come speak to them, at least to verify some more information, because she did have injuries, I believe, at that time that the officers saw. So there was something that we needed to speak to someone at the home.
All right, to your knowledge, was there anyone else who would have witnessed this fight?
All I know is going to be the victim. Possibly Mr. Rico, I have no idea because nobody wants to cooperate. Tasha, I believe, and a young lady named Quisha. No one would actually give me information. They're kind of like, I don't want to. Like they'll spoke to me on the phone, but they won't continue on with anything. So it's basically, the victim's word against the suspect.
I wish I was drunk. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Jeff and Chad, how are we? Thank F, it's Friday. Yeah, well, thank F.
All right, and that would also mean there's no
here,
video
too.
footage of
Well,
any sort of
it's now
fight.
Saturday
No,
morning.
I did call the location. They only have cameras in
Thank
the
you so
front of the building, none on the property.
One moment, Chad.
We need to talk TV. This is on 1.25 speed. So she's talking normal. He's just talking way too slow to have on normal
Thank
speed.
you. Moving on, was the gun ever recovered?
No, sir.
All right. Is there body cam footage of the initial interview that Officer Baker had with Ms. Drain?
Yes, I had to view that. That was about a year ago, over a year ago.
Sure. And that was recorded, right after that officer had arrived?
I believe so, because he took the police report, yes.
Okay. And in that, Ms. Drain had mentioned that she was essentially assaulted with a sawed-off shotgun. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Did Ms. Drain mention having any experience with firearms?
No, she did not.
Did Ms. Drain mention any sort of struggle or argument that preceded the physical actions?
Well, I believe argument over her possibly cheating, but that was between her and the suspect. But no actual physical or anything other than that.
All right. Did Officer Baker speak with anyone else at the scene?
So all I remember is him speaking to Miss Drain, because they knocked on the door and no one would come to the door. Apparently it happened inside the apartment. So a lot of people don't want to get involved, especially when police come around and someone's actually injured inside a home that they don't live at.
All right. After that, you mentioned that the case was essentially transferred to you. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you spoke with Ms. Drain yourself?
Yes.
Was it a phone interview or did she see you in person?
It was a phone interview.
Do you remember about what day you all spoke?
The 28th
The 28th. So that
of November 2021.
understood. Okay. And you mentioned that she sent you a picture of her injuries.
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay. And are those pictures a part of the evidence packet for this case?
I did put it there, yes.
In that phone interview, did she again corroborate that she had been assaulted by a shotgun?
That is correct, she did.
Yes.
All right, and was it you who showed Miss Drain, Mr. Huff's Georgia ID?
Yes, it was just a picture of it. It was a picture, updated picture of it, yes.
We can hear you, prosecutor. Shh. Shh, prosecutor, we can hear you.
All right. Afterwards, did you speak with Mr. Huff yourself?
No, I believe I tried to call again and there was no answer. So he already talked to him once. I never was able to get back in contact with them.
Okay, when did you speak with Mr. Huff then?
I called the number on the 29th. She provided a number and advised that I spoke to him by the phone number that Miss Drain provided. He advised that he did not attack her. He believed that was another boyfriend who injured her and stated that he was in a shelter and hasn't been around her. He did provide the name of the shelter at all.
He did not provide the name of the
No.
shelter. All right, I kind of have to clarify here. So you mentioned speaking with Ms. Drain on November 28th,
That is correct.
and you just said now you spoke with Mr. Huff November 29th,
The next day, yes.
next day. Okay. Did you draft these warrants against Mr. Huff?
Yes, I did, sir.
Do you know when you drafted these warrants?
That is correct. Of the December 15, 2021.
Oh, Corn Pop, finally you said something funny for like the first time in about 5 months. That's actually really funny. Assault shotgun. That's actually funny.
All right. Thank you, Detective Edwards. Those are my questions.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right, anything else for this detective?
No, Your Honor, not from me.
All right. Thank you, officer. Stay safe out there.
The snoring is coming from my 2 English bulldogs.
All right, go ahead with the argument.
Your Honor, I'll waive the first part of it and just
All right,
do the second part.
go ahead, Mr.
That's
Rhodes.
the big culprit right there. That's the
All right.
snorer.
So find probable cause.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask for a couple of other charges, if that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, of course you do. As you know, that the warrants are for aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. I believe that you heard testimony on a battery, sufficient for a battery, as well as possession of firearm by convicted felon, as well as possession of a sawed-off shotgun, which is OCGA 16-11-122. Your Honor, you heard testimony from the investigator who advised that the victim, Miss Drain, knew the defendant, had a relationship with him for over 2 years. She advised that he hit her multiple times in the head and in the face with the butt of the shotgun. Officers were able to observe her injuries, and as well as she was able to send a photograph of her injuries the victim was to this investigator. And I believe that it's sufficient for probable cause for those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charges.
All right, anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Rhodes?
Clarify again, you're trying to add now a battery charge, special sauce,
I'm sorry, I can't hear Mr. Rhodes.
Sorry, that microphone, wiggle it. I mean, tap it. No, look, do that down here. All right, is it green?
Grab that microphone, stroke it, wiggle
Is
it,
it green on there?
shake
Okay,
it at the
well, don't
base,
stand at
grab
the
it by the
podium.
base,
Yeah.
and shake it.
It was working this morning. I think somebody touched it a little too hard. Not you, somebody else obviously messed up. Go ahead.
Again, just clarify.
Yes.
What were the charges you're seeking on adding?
So aggravated assault, battery, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony, possession of firearm during convicted by a convicted felon, and then also possession of a sawed-off shotgun.
Understood. Judge, in regards to the additional battery charge that the state is seeking to add, we've only heard testimony about one act of just an assault with a shotgun. There's no additional act that would cause an additional charge of a battery. And as for the sawed-off shotgun charge, I asked the witness, explicitly if Miss Drain had any experience with weapons, enough to know the difference between a shotgun or a sawed-off shotgun or anything of the sort. Also, and the detective responded no.
This guy clearly has no idea about guns.
Miss Drain had
Because that's a dumb question.
Prior experience with weapons, but also no shotgun was actually recovered. So I don't think there's enough probable cause to actually demonstratively indicate or show that a sawed-off shotgun was in possession there. So I asked that there be no probable cause for that charge, as well as the additional battery charge that the state is seeking.
All right.
Your Honor, may I reply? Sure. Your Honor, I believe it was clear testimony that the investigator mentioned that he hit her multiple times. It was not just with the shotgun, but he punched her in the
She was
face as
up
well.
close and personal with that
even
weapon.
she said, I believe, the back of the head as well. So I believe there's sufficient for a battery, definitely, Your Honor, as well as I believe the question was asked that if she had asked Miss Drain if she had any firearms, and I believe the investigator said, no, she didn't ask. Again, I don't think this is relevant. I think anybody, any lay person can tell the difference between a regular shotgun and a sawed-off shotgun due to the barrel being smaller, a lot shorter. But
literally
as Your Honor knows, and as the
sawed
court is aware that, especially in DV cases, Your Honor, the defendants usually flee anyway, and not finding a gun is not enough, Your Honor, to
we're not going to get to the judgment.
not find probable cause for a firearm, Your Honor, in this case. So we believe that from the testimony, all of the 5 charges are supported by testimony.
Mr. Rhodes, where's he gonna live? Before on the previous bond, he didn't have an address.
10 seconds. We're running out of time.
Oh. One moment, Judge.
And we'll never know how it ends. Oh, we'll never know how it ends. We ran out of time. Oh no. Hey doggo, what's up? We'll never know. I'm sure we're all gonna lose sleep and we're gonna wonder what happened. Yeah, I pretty much can guess that he's getting held over on all those charges, and there'll be a pretty high bond. Well, that's it, everybody. That was our impromptu surprise stream for this day because I'm not in Japan. I'm here. We're going to wrap it up right now. Mods, thank you for popping in, for all you mods that replied on the spur of the moment. Oh, my. I missed a super chat from Ike. Ike, I'm sorry about that. It was a while ago. I'm on my 5th beer, and I've come to the conclusion that no amount of alcohol can dull the pain of listening to this officer. That was back during Officer Green Lantern. So again, mods, thank you, chat. My chat is the best chat. You're here. You're my chat. Thank you so much for all the likes you gave. Thank you so much for the subscribers. Please, on your way out, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please, 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 please do, especially the subscribing thing. That's what we need. We need more subscribers right now. Tell your friends, tell your family, get them to subscribe. Now what we're going to do is we are going to wrap this up, and I'm going to send us all over to Legal Lounge with Eric Hundley. Currently, he has Steve Gosney, Southern Law, Viva Fry, Ricada is there, Ian Runkle, and Good Logic. Let him know Legal Vices sent you. Say hi to all my peeps over there, and we'll see you again soon. Bye now.